infinity. Imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They got him again!
Sixers.
Bang! It's good! Ball game!
And Flyers.
Tipped in front of the net!
97.3 ESPN. WENJ. WENJ HD. Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
The opinions expressed are not those of Town Square Media or station advertisers.
Finally!
This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity.
Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
I am Josh Hennig, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company down in North Cape May. Well, it's basically your last stop before the ferry. If you're wondering where it is, we are broadcasting live for a plethora of reasons. First of all, it's the first weekend of May, Free Comic Book Day. We're celebrating Star Wars Day today. And Gusto is not dropping one but two brews. We'll be on camera there in just a moment. Zach is very excited as I am here with Zach Pashley from Gusto Brewing Company to start the show. We are broadcasting live as we will be here for the full 3 hours here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. So here's the rundown real quick. We do have prize giveaways, our free comic books from Don's Attic, right?
Correct. Don's Attic, Cape May.
So also I got my prizes as well. So the way my prizes work is you got to buy a beer. If you get a beer, you get a raffle ticket. You get a raffle ticket, you hold on to that ticket. At the end of the show, we will pull tickets, and it's numbers called. You get to pick whatever you want. And then one item's off the list. Then another item's off the list.
It's not White Elephant?
No.
Okay.
No, there's no elephants here. 0 elephants are involved in the making of this broadcast. But also, we got a lot of things going on. Phillies somehow have won 4 straight. And don't tell me it's Donnie baseball. I'll tell you the reason why coming up in just a bit. Also, Sixers game 7 today. That's why I had to break out the Sixers hat. You know, because let's be realistic. Nobody thought they were getting to this point. Nobody thought the Sixers were getting to this point. It's a good Sixers hat, by the way, sir. It's a good Sixers hat. It's very clean looking. Also, the Flyers are in the second round. Nobody expected that, okay? And I don't even know if I have time for anything else with everything going on today. So let's introduce Zach from Gusto Brewing Company. For those who don't know, Gusto Brewing Company is one of my favorite brew companies. And Zach, first I want you to, kind of open the conversation, telling everybody a little bit about what is Gusto Brewing Company.
It is an incredibly small brewery in North Cape May. You get off the Parkway. As long as you don't drive into the bay, you can see us.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, don't recommend that. Your insurance company doesn't recommend it either. But yeah, super small batches, family business. We've had Dano's been brewing the beer since day one. We've been open almost 7.5 years. This place we just love making fresh beer. We love making beer we like to drink that's incredibly fresh. And it's an outlet for expressing our interests, our passions, and we love what we do. Yeah.
Now, you're in year 7, right?
You're correct.
Okay. I had to make sure I remember that correctly.
Yeah.
Now, so we got 2 brews that are dropping today. So let's talk about, because they're both, one of my favorite things about Gusto Brewing is that everything is themed. There's a theme behind everything. It's not like you go some places and it's like, and it's another random IPA, and it's another random stout. Sure. It's another random. No, like there's something fun behind every story. And I will say, if you don't understand what the story is, you ask someone, they will tell you.
Right. Yeah, it's like we try not to do things that are too on the nose. But yeah, but as long the whole brewery, we didn't want to have a theme, which kind of opens us up to do themed stuff like these. Yeah, we love it. So you had mentioned the beer.
Yes.
So Out There Coffee are roasters in like craft roasters, artisan roasters in West Cape May. We've been using their coffee since day one. And every year for Star Wars Day, we do Out There, name of the coffee company, in a galaxy far, far away. It's a 9.5% Imperial Milk Stout with their coffee, conditioned with Madagascar vanilla, maple syrup, both on the hot side and on the cold side. and a little bit of milk sugar. Man, it is delightful, but it packs a punch. Yeah, so we have absolutely loved working with these coffee guys, and this beer is fantastic. The second one, if I may,
yes,
Doom Sauce. So last year we started working with our good friends Ron and Dawn. Ron and Dawn run an antique shop out of Cape May Antique Center, right over the Cape May Bridge, called Dawn's.
Oh, I gotta show the back part of this.
Oh, yeah.
The design on the back is just so cool.
Dr. Gus, or is it Captain Doom? I don't know what it is.
It would probably be Dr. Gus.
Dr. Gus. Yeah. So Ron.
Where's a Gus Doom?
Oh, that might be a good name for next year's.
Mm.
Yeah, last year's was Glorious Purpose. This is Doom Sauce, 8.5% Imperial IPA with Strata, Galaxy, and Quantum Nelson Sauvin. These beers are designed to drink fresh. They're fragile, like they can be really fragile, but there's that X factor of freshness in that fragility. Man, they're really, really good. And speaking of Ron and Dawn, they got the free comic books in here too. So we're just really stoked to celebrate and to cooperate with them. They're great. They're great folks.
So for those who don't know, also I've been down here before because you've had, for example, when the Phillies were in London.
Oh yeah.
You had the collab beer.
EFIS.
For EFIS. Yep. That was a good one. So as a Phillies fan, I got to ask you, they fire the manager and then all of a sudden they start winning. Like, is there a part of you that's like, well, that's suspicious? Or are you guys kind of treating it like, you know what, baseball's weird?
I think baseball's weird. I think it's the changing the manager's got to be a catalyst, right? But this was not going to be the 96 win team that it was last. Was it 96 last year?
Yep.
It's not going to be that 96 win team, but they also weren't going to be a 50 win team. There's too much talent.
Right.
So I think that catalyst is huge, but these players, there's way too much talent on that team to have been in that slide for much longer, even with or without the Thompson removal.
Well, what bothered me is that why did it need to take firing the manager for them to do their job? For example, if someone comes down the Gusto Brewing Company, that's where we are down here in North Cape May, right? Someone comes down here and you don't make a good batch of beer. You're not going to be motivated by someone else getting fired for you to do your job. You're going to be like, no, I just need to do a better job, right?
Well, I think we should talk about something that's realistic, though. Dan making a bad batch of beer is not a realistic scenario, but we're living in fantasy world right now. Okay, cool. All right, so in fantasy world,
world,
no, you're right. I mean, there are things. There is feedback you get. There is, the feedback you get from people or your own perceived how you perceive the beer could be a catalyst for stuff, but at the same time, there's too much talent in that young man right there to remain. He will not allow himself to remain somewhere where
but
he's
that's
not
what I mean. It's like, Dan doesn't need something crazy happening to somebody else to do his job.
Correct.
The problem and listen, this is where it's kind of the blur of the line, right? I'm supposed to be objective, the guy on the microphone on 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and next to the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. But on the same time, as a fan, I'm like, no, you need to do your job. Yeah. I understand that hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do on the planet, okay? There's nothing harder to do than hitting a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. I get that. But you're also being paid millions and millions of dollars to do it. So obviously, they're better than me and you at doing it. So that's why I always come back to, why do you need to fire somebody for you to realize, oh, man, I need to do my job?
Yeah, I don't know either, but if this current spark is indeed a product of that move, maybe they're not only better at baseball than you and I, but maybe they know something we don't. I mean, maybe they definitely know something I don't. You're the pro, so I'm not going to take.
Well, this is where I'm also can just completely puzzled, because everyone in that locker room loved Rob Thompson. Mm-hmm. Everyone admired him, appreciated him. The only person who didn't like Rob Thompson was Nick Castellanos. Okay,
they took care of that,
and they got rid of him finally. Thank God. He's stinking up the joint over there in San Diego.
All right,
he's their problem now. But the point is, what I'm saying is that, if you like somebody and you like working for or with somebody, wouldn't that lend you to believe that you should want to do your best for that someone? And I think that's what bothers me with the whole Phillies firing thing. And that is, I get it, Don Mattingly, Donnie Baseball, blah, blah, blah. But how about this? The two teams you played since you fired the manager are both not good. Is it maybe that you ran into a buzzsaw with the Braves and the Cubs, two of the best teams in baseball, and maybe you weren't losing because the manager was the problem? Maybe you were losing because you just weren't the better baseball team. You know, how many times in other sports, right? You know, the Sixers play a team. The Sixers just not as good as the other team, right? You know, the Sixers played OKC Thunder in a series. They're getting murdered, right? You know, if the Flyers played, let's say maybe that's the best skill. The Colorado Avalanche is a better example. I was going to go with the Golden Knights, but I think the Flyers want to destroy the Golden Knights because Tortorella's coaching them now.
They're going to destroy everybody. They're going to destroy everybody.
The Golden Knights are a weird team to me. That's like a different conversation for another minute. But the point is that, like, if you're the Phillies and, you know, you have Zach Wheeler on the mound last night, and he's rolling, and you're playing a Miami team that's not that good. Like, did you know that Don Mattingly had, I think, either the first or second most wins in franchise history for the Marlins? Like, that's how pitiful that franchise is. They got 2 World Series, and they've done nothing good ever since.
Right.
So it's like you're rolling along, and then you barely win the game because your bullpen is not doing their job. The hitters, I mean, Bryson Stott hit a home run last night. Who saw that coming? Right? But it's like, again, is it the team on the field, or is it really the manager? Like, do we really believe that Rob Thompson was the reason why they were losing?
I personally don't believe that. I don't, because I mean, I think you hear this term, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, more in the NFL than you do in any other of the major sports. It's like, maybe they just needed a couple get right games, you know? And to that point, I don't think Rob was the problem. Look at the success they've had with them. And the team hasn't changed that drastically.
No,
over the past couple of years.
In fact, they're injured right now. No GC Realmuto, no Johan Duran, right? So they're banged up. They're injured. They got some bodies on the injured list. Yep. So it's not like they're healthy. By the way, today's Ivy Rehab injury report coming up at 1:25 here on 97.3 ESPN. Let's go to the Sixers.
Sure. With
you really quick. Yeah, I've been in here with you when we watched Sixers games before. And my favorite thing is that if the Sixers are losing, you have the attitude of, like, I kind of expected this. But then when they're winning, you're like euphoric.
Oh, yeah. Well, that is because, full disclosure, I watch barely any basketball unless the Sixers make the playoffs, and then I'm all in. So I am unabashed. I am the bandwagon Sixers fan, and otherwise I don't watch any basketball. So, but now I'm all in. I was dialed in. I watched every minute. 2 nights ago? Every minute. It was great. I loved it.
You found it at least, right?
Yeah, and I wore my Ninja Turtles themed 76ers t-shirt. So nice. Like, that's all in. If that's not all in, I don't know what is.
Well, I had to break out this hat. You know,
yeah, it's great.
This hat was sitting in a drawer for a while there. You know.
Well, the one you got on the prize wall, I know you said that it's not your style, but man, I think that was made for you.
I mean, that's a nice hat.
It's a nice hat. It's a great hat.
It's a great hat. So
we all have our style. Some of us like to wear Star Wars polos.
I don't have a Star Wars
polo. To wear real polos. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, this is just a very generic Flyers. Well, I wasn't planning on wearing this outfit today. This was not the original plan. But then once I realized Flyers and Sixers both played tonight, you got to dress for the occasion.
Sure.
Like, you're dressed for the occasion because we're dropping these 2 brews here today at Gusto Brewing here in North Cape May. Of course, we got the Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away. And we also got the Doom Sauce. I love how you call it Latvian style, for those who don't know. It's because, for those who don't know, the uninitiated, Doomsday, the big Marvel movie, is coming out later this year. And they're introducing the character, which is one of the most famous characters in all of comics, Dr. Doom.
Great.
So, obviously, you had to have Doom Sauce on tap because, you know, you don't want Doom coming here, doing anything. Just stay over there. Stay in your own universe.
Right. And for the uninitiated, as you put it, Latveria is not a real place.
No,
it's not. There are places that are real that sound a little like Latveria, but Latveria is not real. That is the home world of Dr. Doom.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, it might be the only Latverian style double IPA in existence. It probably is.
But you found it here at Gusto Brewing Company.
It was so popular on the planet that we had to bring it to North Cape.
Had to bring it.
Yeah.
Had to go to another dimension.
Yep.
Had to go through a portal.
Yeah.
You almost got killed going through the portal to bring it here, to put it here at Gusto Brewing today. And that's why Hanging with Hennig is here, because aside from the fact you have great brews, is the fact that, strength in numbers.
Right.
Just in case somebody does show up.
Just in case.
Never know.
Can't be. And that's why we made it 8.5%. So if he does show up, we can just get him a little loose and maybe he'll forget about the death and destruction he was planning to bring.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned the Flyers play tonight. So for someone like you, I know you're a big baseball guy, right? You just mentioned how you're a Sixers when they make the postseason guy.
Sure.
So where do you fall in the Flyers paradigm?
So it was not, you put it at the top, improbable, right? Unexpected for them to make it to the second round. But I think I've watched my most hockey of the season, probably the last 10, 15 games of the regular season. And of course, every minute of the playoffs. And the energy that I see it just seems like one of those stories, man. What do they call those? What kind of stories are those? Cinderella stories. It just feels right. They go out with the energy, and it's like a lot of people were down on them when Pittsburgh took 2 games from them. And it's like, guys, this is playoff hockey. Do you have any idea how hard it is to sweep another playoff team, especially one as seasoned as the Penguins? They've been there before. It's like, but man, they pulled it off, and the grit in their play has got. I'm all in. I'll wear my Flyer shirt tomorrow. Today's Star Wars celebration.
Now, because the reason I ask is because I was saying the other day that this is no longer an underdog story anymore. To me, it's a redemption story because the man who scored the goal. So I don't know if you know the story. I'll tell everybody here on 97.3 ESPN if those don't know. So Cam York scored the game-winning goal the other night to advance into the next round. Cam York is the reason why John Tortorella was fired. So there was an incident before Tortorella was fired where Cam York and then head coach John Tortorella got into a major altercation, almost got physical. Now, we found out later that basically Tortorella was verbally abusing him the entire season, basically calling him soft, calling him the B word, calling him the P word, calling him all the words you can't say on the radio, right. But literally, now probably in Tortorella's mind, he was like, I'm motivating him. But it wasn't, obviously. And so Cam York, who for those who don't know, was a major top prospect when the Flyers drafted him. But he has the unenviable infamy of being drafted ahead of a better player named Cole Caulfield, who's one of the best young players in the NHL now for the Canadians. Okay, that's why the Canadians Lightning are playing Game 7 tomorrow, because they got that guy named Cole Caulfield, right? So Cam York has never lived up to that level. You know what I mean? And he was saying literally in front of him. So you have this guy, he hasn't lived up to expectations, he hasn't played up, and then you got Tortorella, this abrasive, blunt instrument, calling you every name in the book, calling you soft and everything. You almost get into a physical altercation with him. He gets fired. Tocchet comes in. Tocchet kind of reformulates how they're doing the game. They're not playing the same way they used to. And let's don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Cam York is all of a sudden ascended to, greatness.
Sure.
But for one game, in one moment, he had the most important play of all. And think about it. 13 months after he basically almost got in a fight with his previous coach, he's the one scoring the game-winning goal. And you see the way the other players embraced him, because they obviously like each other. These Flyers players obviously enjoy playing together. Dan Vladar, he was a nobody. He was a backup goalie in Calgary, and now he has 2 shutouts against the Penguins in the first round of the playoffs. To me, everywhere you go, it's redemption. It's a redemption arc going on with the Flyers. But I will say, I'm not going to lie, Carolina is a different can of beans.
Right.
Okay. The Penguins are they're grinders. They'll kind of get up in your grill. They'll make it ugly. Carolina is an open ice.
Right.
They're spread you out. It's like in football. If someone has 4 or 5 receivers trying to spread out the defense, Carolina does that in hockey sense. And so it's now you're basically having to play a completely different style of hockey. So I'm very curious to see what happens.
that Tocchet Brindamore factor is interesting.
You
too.
like that?
I love that because my dad had season tickets when I was really young, and we would go to games. And man, they're some of the best memories of my life watching Tocchet out there, Brindamore. Man, it was just these, but I was probably between 8 and 14. But watching these guys on the ice, like speaking of redemption, though, I mean, Tocchet was a part of these great teams. Brindamore was a part of these great teams, and
who never won cups.
And they never did it.
Yeah,
I mean, let's put Brindamore to the side for now because he's on the opposing squad.
Sure.
So let's just for Tocchet, like, I mean, there's redemption there too. He's a part of this organization that he brought to great levels, but never did it. Like, maybe there's a lot of redemption.
But also remember, he was criticized a lot when they hired him. Oh, you're hiring another former Flyer, right? And I remember back in January here on 97.3 ESPN, hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company in North Cape May. I remember back in January, we were hearing people calling for him to be fired when they were going through that losing streak in January. So it's like even the head coach is going from fire this guy to build him a statue.
Right. Yep. Well, I mean, sometimes it's difficult to watch him, especially the way that some of those games went officiating wise against the Penguins. It's tough to watch him. He's loud when he needs to be, but to watch that stoicism on the bench as a fan is frustrating. But it's got to be good for the team that he's not going unhinged, perhaps like the story you told before. You know what I mean about Tortorella? It's like he's not unhinged. He's stoic. Maybe that's good for a coach, but good for a team, but bad for a fan. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is, the fan, sometimes they want the coach to be more juice. Because the fan feels juice.
On the ice. Throw the chairs.
Which is why, I love the whole. Did you hear the story about Cam York and the stick?
The one he threw into the stands?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
So he actually got it back.
Oh, great.
Because he told the fan, he said, "Can we get the stick back?" Because he's going to frame it in his house. The stick. He wants to frame the stick in his house. So what he did was he met the fan. He gave the fan, a bunch of jerseys and sticks and stuff. It's like, hey, thanks for giving me my stick back. It's like a baseball, right? Someone hits a home run ball.
Oh yeah.
The guy wants it back, and they give the guy and his kid 20 things.
Yeah. Here's a replacement baseball and a bucket of Chickies and Pete's fries. The kid lights up. The dad's like, "What the heck, bro?"
Well, no. What you do is you give the kid Chickies and Pete's, but then you give the dad Gusto Brewing Brew.
Oh, there you go. Right.
That's what you do.
Yeah, we should.
Because the dad will be really excited.
We should just load up the Citizens Bank staff with Gusto gift cards.
I mean, what I think they should do is people should come down here to Gusto Brewing Company and go get some of those 6-packs out of the fridge and bring them home with them to watch the Sixers and the Flyers tonight.
What do you think I'm doing? Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah,
that's what everybody else should be doing
Oh,
too.
Yeah. Jay, if you be like Josh, be like Zach. Grab a 4-pack
in this situation
and just
maybe not other situations, but in this specific situation, do that. And of course, as I mentioned, so if you come down here, you buy a beer, you can get a raffle ticket, and I'll give away my prizes at the end of the show. We got 2 different Sixers shirts over there, a Sixers hat, 97.3 koozies, a Caesars Sportsbook app. So we got tons of stuff. And by the way, great beer down here. Free comic book day, Dawn's Attic. It's a great time to just hang out. And you know what? It's a cloudy day outside.
It is.
You don't have anywhere else to be, folks.
Right.
You don't need to be anywhere else if you're in the air. You're not going to the beach today. You're not going to the boardwalk. It's too cold to go to the boardwalk.
Right.
Let's be realistic.
Yeah.
You're not going to the boardwalk.
No, it's the place to be.
It's the place to be. Really quick before I let you go, because we do got to hit the break.
Sure.
I know you got your big golf tournament tomorrow.
I do.
Tell everybody about that.
Yeah, 10 a.m. at Big Little Nine Golf. This will be the 3rd year running Star Wars Day themed golf tournament. As far as I know, there still are a handful of openings. You go to Big Little Nine's website, you go to the events tab, you find the Star Wars Day. It's the only one Star Wars theme on their events tab, and you can sign up to play. 10 a.m. shotgun start. Off the Leash Hot Dogs is wrapping up a bunch of dogs for all the players, and we're gonna have some liquid some swing juice out there too.
Okay.
If you will. Yeah.
Or
great.
You can go there tomorrow after you came here today, sample the swing juice so you know what you're having tomorrow.
You can. I mean, that sounds like the perfect weekend.
I mean, I'm just trying to set the things up for the people
an idea
here.
Guy.
I mean, and by the way, we will have the Phillies game on here today at 4:00. So if you're worried about watching the Phillies game, you can come on down and watch the Phillies game here at Gusto Brewing Company here in North Cape May. And Zach, again, I want to appreciate you having me here today. This has kind of been something that you and I have talked about numerous times about like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, and we actually made it happen. Right. And, it's going to be a great day. I know Smoker and Adele is going to be here later this afternoon. I haven't seen them pull up yet, so I don't want to.
Yeah, well, I'll keep you in the know. You'll see the big black behemoth pull into the parking lot, and they're usually pretty quick about getting going. So I hope you're hungry.
Yeah, well, we will eat. Trust me, I will eat. My thing is that I know Rob, and we got to get Rob on the show before Rob gets too involved in what he's doing.
He might not need a microphone, though. I think even your YouTube viewers across the pond might be able to hear him without the microphone.
Which pond?
You do you.
That pond over there, the bay?
All of them. All the
ponds?
Have a lot of European viewers. They could probably hear him, too. Yeah. If you know Rob, you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always call him, for those who don't know, I call him my favorite Steelers fan.
Oh, man. We get it. So Ron, comic book Ron, Steelers fan too. We give each other a lot of guff, but he's a gracious guy. You know what I mean?
Well, it's all in fun.
Oh, it is.
That's what it's about. So
Rob's my second favorite Steelers fan. You can tell him I said that when he comes on.
Ooh.
Yeah. Close second, but
he might give you the side eye, you know.
I get it anyway, but nothing's gonna change. It's fine.
Well, Zach, I'll let you get back to work.
I
Josh, appreciate you jumping on with me.
What a hoot. Peace, fam. Have a great weekend.
Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank, a CLB, and brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. That means every bet you place on every sport does more for you. There's so many opportunities with Caesars Sportsbook. Of course, you can earn perks like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Getting started is simple. Download the app, use promo code RADIO, DYW. Then place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets, 10 chances to boost your play just by stepping onto the field with Caesars Sportsbooks. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We're a little late for the break, but it's okay. It's my show. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And we are streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Just follow at Josh Hennig. Like, subscribe, and share. Come on down, hang out with us. Gusto Brewing in North Cape May.
Today on ESPN Radio, it's a National League showdown at Wrigley.
Going! Gone! Second three-run homer for Ian Happ today.
The Chicago Cubs have been rolling at home this season. And this weekend, Corbin Carroll and the Arizona Diamondbacks come to town.
Long gone! Corbin Carroll, blast to right center.
Listen to Major League Baseball all season on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins later today at 3 p.m.
Planning a graduation party? A summer family gathering? Memorial Day weekend mixer? The one-stop shop where I go is Boulevard Super Liquors. Located on Roosevelt Boulevard at the foot of the Ocean City 34th Street Bridge, Boulevard Super Liquors has the best selection of craft beer, whiskey, vodka, wines, and tequila in all of South Jersey. Plus, if you're traveling down the Garden State Parkway, Boulevard Super Liquors is within minutes of exit 25, so you can jump off the exit and get back on the road within minutes. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, Boulevard Super Liquors also has the largest temperature-controlled wine room in New Jersey. These are just some of the reasons why my favorite stop is Boulevard Super Liquors, with the best selection at the Jersey Shore. Visit them on Instagram and Facebook to learn more about upcoming tasting events. And don't miss your chance to win a signed Devontae Smith helmet or a Cooper DeJean jersey when Hanging with Hennig broadcast live on Saturday, May 23rd from Boulevard Super Liquors on Roosevelt Boulevard at the foot of the Ocean City 34th Street Bridge, the best selection of beer and spirits in South Jersey.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels at Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger, to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a hospitality manager at a 5-star hotel.
So I just checked into room 318, but someone was in there.
Room 318. Oh, you were supposed to be booked in 813, which is now booked.
So what do we do?
How about rock, paper, scissors for who gets the bid?
This is your job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has been proudly serving South Jersey for over 20 years. Owner Matt Calloway was born and raised in Cape May County and has over 25 years of experience in the heating and cooling industry, as well as fireplaces, plumbing, and bathroom renovations. You can always count on a licensed and insured local contractor like TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling to be there promptly and to fix your problem right the first time. If your home needs a little TLC, get TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. Online at tlcphc.com.
Progressive knows life takes you in many directions.
Bear right at exit 32, then begin to wonder why you never bought a fish tank. In 1.3 miles, you'll realize you've been mispronouncing epitome your whole life. At the roundabout, you will remember you said something at dinner you wish you hadn't and will think about it for decades. You have arrived at your destination, but it turns out there really is no destination and life just keeps going.
Wherever life takes you, protect your home and auto with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
When it comes to injuries, you can't afford to get it wrong. Insurance companies, they delay, deny, and pay as little as possible. Who's on your side? The law offices of Craig A. Altman. Car accidents, slip and falls, serious workplace injuries. They build cases to put real pressure on the other side. And you pay nothing unless they win. Don't guess, don't wing it. Call 856-327-8899 or visit CraigAltmanLaw.com. Local office in Vineland, backed by a Philly firm that knows how to win.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Hey, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Who? Star-Lord, man. Legendary outlaw.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN. We are broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing down in North Cape May. So we are here today for Free Comic Book Day, Starving Star Wars, not one, but two brew drops as well. We're giving away prizes, but you have to come down. So you have to get, when you buy a beer, you get a raffle ticket. You get a raffle ticket, you have the chance to win prizes at the end of the show. So we're going to be here today at Gusto Brewing. On May 23rd is where we will be with my friends over at Boulevard Liquors over there in Marmora. So today we are at Gusto Brewing. In a couple weeks, we will be at Boulevard Liquors, give away prizes that day as well. We'll be giving away a Devonta Smith helmet, signed Devonta Smith helmet, and a Cooper DeJean jersey on Saturday, May 23rd at Boulevard Liquors, your one-stop shop for graduation parties, summer gatherings, Memorial Day weekend mixers, and more. Give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook to learn more about upcoming events. And don't forget, Saturday, May 23rd, we will be there at Boulevard Liquors. Today, we are at Gusto Brewing Company here in North Cape May, hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. And, you know, kind of getting back to the whole Phillies conversation, I was really thinking about this on my drive down here because, you know, when you think about this Phillies situation, it just perplexes me to no end that, like, the whole world is acting like Donnie Baseball is the reason why they're playing as they are. And it really, you know, the quote Peter Griffin from Family Guy, it really grinds my gears because it's like people don't have an understanding that if the players don't do their job, nothing else matters. Don Mattingly, when he talked to me for the first time, let me pull this computer a little closer to myself. You know, it might help if I actually had the machine that actually has what I'm talking about closer to me. But, you know, it's okay. Hanging with Hennig back here, you know, doing it all by myself here. Vince is back in the studio doing a great job keeping us on the radio and online, streaming live on YouTube and X. You guys can text in as well. Your thoughts on the Phillies 4-game winning streak, 609-403-0973. That is the text board. You guys can text in as well and join the conversation. Your thoughts on the Phillies, your thoughts on who you think is going to win tonight? Sixers? Celtics? Who wins tonight? You can hear the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. What I think is interesting about this game tonight, by the Flyers tonight on our sister station, Rock 104.1, the Rock 104.1 mobile app. So we've got you covered on all the bases here with 97.3 ESPN and hanging with Hennig. All the topics are on the table. Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, you let me know. 609-403-0973. Back to the Phillies. What really drives me nuts, or as I said, Peter Griffin, what really grinds my gears is that people are acting like if they fire Rob Thompson, that's going to make the difference. Here was Don Mattingly, who replaced Rob Thompson, explaining that he's really not different than Rob Thompson in terms of how he's going to manage the team.
I don't know if I'm a whole lot different than Rob. Honestly, I trust players. I believe in players. I like players, but I want us to play better baseball. And honestly, over the last 4 games, I'd say I felt like you could feel the tone in the dugout. The fight in the at-bats was going where it needed to go. I'm not sure that it doesn't go just the way it was going, and we all of a sudden catch fire. So we're capable. The one thing I think that even though we haven't played, we're 10 games under, the fact that we have the number of games that we have left is a matter about getting us on track.
They don't sound like a guy who is coming in there and changing everything. Typically when you fire a manager or a coach, you're trying to change everything, right? But this is not changing anything. All this is doing is basically saying, hey, we just want someone different. So really, you just got someone different to say someone different. That's what just happened in Philadelphia. Don Mattingly went on to say that he's going to make small changes. Now, Jeff Kerr was on with Mike Gill on the Sports Bash this week here on 97.3 ESPN. For the Phillies fastball segment, Jeff Kerr, who covers the Phillies for 97.3 ESPN, he said that the small changes have to do with things like practicing more bunting, getting to the ballpark at a different time, different emphasis during batting practice. So he's not making wholesale changes. Have you seen the lineup? The only change they made recently was put Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff last night because no Turner played. I'm actually, as that Phillies lineup come out, I'm going to see that Phillies lineup came out. I am very curious to see if they make any changes to this lineup. Vince, if you can let me know back there when the Phillies drop their lineup, I am very curious to see what they do today, because do they keep playing Kyle Schwarber in the leadoff, or do they change that up? But Mattingly went on to say that the only changes he's making are these small ones, right? Who is, for example, bunts, batting practice. He's not making wholesale changes. He's not coming into, this isn't, restaurant rescue, where what's his name goes to the restaurants and he goes in there and says, we got to change everything here. No, this is not that. Here's more from Don Mattingly.
There are some changes that I want to make, little differences. They probably won't be really totally noticeable in general. There are some things that I've been able to talk with my staff about, things that we discuss over the course of the season so far, things that we'd like to do better. So some small changes, yes.
Small changes. So again, how did firing Don Mattingly fix things? I'll tell you what fixed things. They're playing the Giants and the Marlins this week. They're not playing these elite ball clubs. The Braves are arguably one of the best teams of all of baseball. The Cubs are on a fire team right now. I mean, they got an incredible pitching staff, by the way, with left-handers. Phillies struggle against left-handers. Hello. That's a problem. So now we're thinking about it. Did firing the manager really make a difference? Bryce Harper, the day Rob Thompson got fired, said this.
I do think we're better than this, and that's when I asked our guys to come in and talked about it. And do we Do we feel that way? Do you feel that? And unanimously, the feeling was we're a much better club than this. We watched the other clubs play around baseball. This club is talent. I don't want to say the most as talented as most. We just have not played that way. So if we don't play that way, we won't. We have to play better in every way. Do I think we can play better? I hope so. If not, then we'll all have made a mistake.
I made a mistake too because I clicked the wrong button. That was Dave Dombrowski, the pompous schmuck that he is. I mean, is there anyone more egotistical and a know-it-all more than Dave Dombrowski? I mean, the guy built the roster. So what do you think was going to happen? You had no legitimate four-hitter. You have the most unbalanced lineup, arguably, at least in the National League. And you live in a world where you think this team was going to be so much better than last year because you added Brad Keller, Adolis Garcia. I mean, that's just goofiness. It's absolutely just bizarro world. And that's why I say, for me, I don't look at this as they fired the manager and now they're good. I look at it as they fired the manager and the players realized they got rid of someone that we like. That's what really happened. They got rid of someone that everyone likes. So now everybody wakes up and says, we got to take things more seriously. The Harper bite I was going to play was Harper saying that, you know, they kind of had an idea something might be coming because of how bad they had been playing and that now it's time to put up or shut up. And that's kind of what Don Mattingly also said this week, where he said that he told the players, you know, no more talking about how they got to be better.
I've talked to the players about this is a we thing. This isn't point your finger at one thing and say this is a solution. The solution is play better baseball than the other team. We've lost because we haven't played better baseball than the other team. We're talented enough. We know that. We believe that. We just got to go do that. Right? You can talk about it all you want. You got to play better baseball. And I know you guys want all kinds of different answers and solutions, but it's play better baseball.
And I think that's where I look at it as, you know, the players are doing a better job. The players are going and making better at bats. They're having a better approaches. They're having better conversations with each other. You know, the reason why the 76ers are playing a Game 7 tonight is because the 76ers started playing better. They started playing better defense, very specifically the last two games. So if you're playing better defense, you probably have a better chance to win games. You know, the Phillies before this week had statistically one of the worst defenses in all of baseball. They're playing a little bit better defense now. It's funny how much easier it is to win games when you play better. It's very convenient, very simple, very easy like that. Josh Hennig hanging out with you, hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing down here in North Cape May, here on 97.3 ESPN FM, streaming live on YouTube and next in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. Still to come, we will be talking with Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated and NBC Sports. Sixers, Celtics tonight on NBC is where you can watch the game. You don't have to go to Peacock tonight. It's a beautiful night for anyone over the age of 35. You know why? Because we all watch sports on real TV, okay? Everything was on Fox, NBC, CBS, ABC. There's no game on Peacock tonight. There's no game on Amazon Prime. There's no game on Apple TV. Everything's on regular television. The Flyers can be watched on ABC. The Sixers versus Celtics, they can be watched on NBC. It's a beautiful night for anyone over the age of 35. I hate saying it that way, but it is what it is, right? And you look at those games, we'll get to the Sixers and Flyers on the other side. But I do think it's very interesting that when you think about the Phillies moving forward, when they have a losing streak, because that will happen at some point, they will be losing games. Something in the back of my mind wonders, how are the fans going to respond when the tough times come? When the losing happens, it's a 162 game season. When the losing does come around, then what happens? Something to think about. With your text on the other side, 609-403-0973. That is text board to join the conversation. I see some texts already coming in. Don't forget, we have Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated and NBC Sports joining us coming up the next hour, as well as the Ivy Rehab injury report. And I specifically focused in for today's injury report on a couple of injuries to big-time players who've had injuries that did not see coming. One of them is Jason Tatum. The Jason Tatum injury to me is fascinating. So we're going to do that as well coming up on the other side. Also, Kevin Kurz, who covers the Flyers for The Athletic, he will be joining us on the phone at 2 p.m. today. All that and more. So to come, Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing in North Cape May. And yes, the Ivy Rehab injury report is being brought to you by Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy Centers, with over 80 locations around South Jersey, offering best-in-class outpatient physical therapy. They're my physical therapists, and they are you should go to as well. They took care of me, and I know they're going to be great for you as well. The Ivy Rehab injury report coming up at 1:25 today on 97.3 ESPN. As I mentioned, text board. We'll get to that on the other side. 609-403-0973. Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company in North Cape May. Come on down. You have a chance to win prizes. All you got to do is, if you buy a beer, you get a raffle ticket. And at the end of the show, I'll give you the raffle ticket winners, and then you can win prizes. But you got to come on down and grab a beer in order to win prizes. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And yes, we are streaming live in the Dr. Squatch Vertical Studio. Just follow at Josh Hennig on YouTube and X. More Hanging with Hennig coming up.
It's Sixers Celtics Game 7 tonight. Listen as Tom McGinnis calls all the Sixers playoff action.
Brown down the lane. Brown rejected by the Sixers. Here comes the run out. George behind his back to BJ, and he slams it. Timeout Boston. What a game. Are you kidding me? BJ Edgecombe slams it in.
The Sixers face the Boston Celtics Game 7 tonight. Coverage begins at 7:30 on South Jersey's home for Sixers playoff basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a Matt Black Kia.
Hop out of your old car and into a new Matt Black Kia for less at Matt Black Kia in Egg Harbor Township. 26 Matt Black Kia Sportage LX, just $139 per month. 26 Matt Black Kia K5 GT line, just $149 per month. All new 2027 Matt Black Kia Telluride, $339 per month. Drive now and pay later with 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, we'll pay you up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade in any condition. Have a job clearing $450 per week? Matt Black Kia wants to get you approved today. We sell more, so you save more.
Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township,
or mattblackkia.com.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a Matt Black Kia.
24-month leases, $59.99 due at signing. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Interest occurs from data purchase on select models. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, it's Brighton Richards with Apex East Roofing. You know, the blonde-haired girl in the original pink truck. Big news. We're proud to announce we won the 2026 International Owens Corning Pinnacle Innovation Award because we reinvented the roofing experience. Homeowners can price their roof in 30 seconds online and even visit our one-to-one Blueprint Design Center in Northfield to see their project before we build it. Innovation, transparency, local trust.
Get a price on your roof in 30 seconds at apexeastroofing.com.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Vang back here and Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio. If you're watching on YouTube and X, you can see that we are broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company. It's a fun day down here. Not one, but two craft beers are dropping today. Of course, you got the Doom Sauce. Also, you got the Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away. So the Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away is a Imperial Stout, coffee stout. And then the Doom Sauce is a IPA. So whatever your preference is, they got something for everyone here at Gusto Brewing Company. Now, one of my personal favorites on the menu right now is Life in Stop Motion. But, you know, if you pick what you like, and they got something for everybody down here. Also, Smoker Adele is setting up the food trucks. They'll be out here in the parking lot slinging food all afternoon at Gusto Brewing Company. So come on down, hang out. You know, we're celebrating all kinds of things. Phillies, Sixers, Flyers. Everybody is on the board. Text board is open, 609-403-0973. Let's get to a couple texts coming in. Shaner in EHC chimes in. I'm excited for a great night of sports. I rarely mention the 76ers, but do you think they have a chance? Could be the most interesting Game 7 of round one in a long time in any sport. The Celtics get eliminated. It's an excuse story. The Sixers Sixers win. It's a great story. Go Flyers. He's predicting a 4-2 win over the Hurricanes. Interesting. Okay, Shane on EHC. So a lot there from Shane on EHC. But by the way, Dombrowski is he basically calls him a no-talent clown. Fair. Very fair, Shane. Listen, it's not that Dombrowski is a clown. Quick correction. He has talent. He's obviously built a lot of teams that have won championships. But he is a clown because he's such an egotistical know-it-all, and that's what's maddening. Back to your question about the Sixers. Do they have a chance? Of course they have a chance. You know why they have a chance? Because this Celtics team lives and dies by the three-pointer. When you have a team that literally only has one, it's like a fighter, right? If you're watching boxing or MMA, you have a fighter who only knows how to do one thing. Well, you know what happens if you only know how to do one thing? There's only one way you can win. Could the Celtics win other ways? Of course they can, but here's what happens. If the Celtics make their threes, the Sixers are going to have a lot of trouble winning the game, Shane and EHT. But if Celtics don't make their threes, all the Sixers got to do is play good defense and make sure they don't let the Celtics get back into the game. To me, that's some of the keys to the game. Now, you mentioned the Flyers. I'm conflicted on the Flyers. I don't know if the Flyers are going to win this series for one reason. Carolina has a style of play that puts them at a higher level. The way they play the open ice, the way they play, end to end, at the speed they play, the way they open up the ice, the way they create the dynamic where it makes it more difficult for you to play defense on them, I think that's where the Flyers are going to have a lot of problems. Now, that might be a good thing because maybe for guys like Matej Michkov and Tyson Forrester, maybe this open style of play makes it easier for them to go out there and play their brand of hockey. Maybe. I'm not saying it's the reason why they're going to win or lose, but I'm saying that if the Flyers win or lose the series, I'm not surprised either way. That's at least how I look at it. Good text there from Shane on EHT. Jack at Game Courthouse chimes in at 609-403-0973 on the text board. He says, Dombrowski finally brought up Crawford and Painter. He got rid of the toxic Castellanos, but he did a little more than that. He did a little more than just adding Keller and Garcia. This team isn't that bad. Did you want him to blow it up like the Mets? No, Jack Game Courthouse. I didn't want him to blow it up like the Mets. Here's the problem. They were going to bring up Painter and Crawford no matter what. Okay, Jack Game Courthouse. That was not, you don't give a guy credit for bringing up prospects who are ready to come up. If you want to criticize him to say maybe he should have brought them up last year, that's a debate that we can have. But he gave Castellanos that long-term deal. He has to be criticized for that. He gave JT Realmuto 3 years, $15 million for an aging player who can't stay healthy. He deserves blame for that. You added Keller and Garcia. Solid additions. But you have not at any point since Rhys Hoskins left replaced Rhys Hoskins' bat in the lineup. And even Rhys Hoskins was a limited player himself. They have not found a suitable power-hitting number 4 or 5 hitter who bats right-handed. I think they wanted Castellanos to be that, but he was too inconsistent. They want Garcia to be that, but he is showing to be inconsistent. So that's what I mean, Jack Kimmy Courthouse. It's not about blowing it up. It's about how Bryce Harper said last year, he said, hey, I'll leave first base if we can sign a guy like Pete Alonso. That's a guy you could have added, but no, you didn't add him. Now, did you not add him because the owner said, I want to spend more money? Or did you not add a guy like Pete Alonso because you look at Bryce Harper and you say, I don't want to move him off first base? I'm not saying those are good answers, Jack Kimmelhorst. I'm just saying that's what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the idea that this team added around the margins. They keep telling us they're a good ball club. They're a good club. They're a good club. Well, now I need you to play like it. I need you to act like it. Or you're going to be in a situation where now you're asking the players who might not be as good as you thought they were to be more. That is always complicated. Josh Hennig hanging out with you here on 97.3 ESPN, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company. Listen, it's a cloudy day outside, which means it's the perfect day to come down to Gusto Brewing Company, grab a drink, get a raffle ticket for your chance to win prizes we will give away at the end of the show. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN, streaming live on YouTube and X. Just follow at Josh Hennig.
Tonight on Rock 104.1, listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedoric call all the Flyers playoff action.
They score! Cam York from the point of the Flyers winning in overtime, and they're headed to the second round.
It's Flyers Hurricane Game 1. Tonight, coverage begins at 8 p.m. It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey on South Jersey's classic rock station, Rock 104.1, and the Rock 104.1 mobile app.
We all know that sleep matters, but are we actually setting ourselves up for a good night's rest? Here's one tip sleep experts swear by. Keep your bedroom cool. The ideal sleep temperature is somewhere between 65 and 68 degrees. I know, burr, right? But here's why. As the evening goes on, our bodies naturally start to heat up before bed, and a cool room sends signals to our brain that it's time to rest. But it's not just about falling asleep. Staying cool throughout the night helps us stay in those deeper, more restorative sleep cycles. We can also try sleeping with a lighter blanket or a fan. Good sleep isn't a luxury. It's our most powerful yet underrated health tool. Let's start treating it that way. I'm Robin Stoloff for Health Update. Hi, it's Robin Stoloff, and I'll be moderating the free NJ Healthy Aging Summit Opioid Safety and Alternatives, Friday, June 5th at the Golden Nugget. Reserve now at njhealthyaging.org. Sponsored by the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey, funding from the Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FAME25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FAME25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FAME25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When it comes to injuries, you can't afford to get it wrong. Insurance companies, they delay, deny, and pay as little as possible. Who's on your side? The law offices of Craig A. Allman. Car accidents, slip and falls, serious workplace injuries. They build cases to put real pressure on the other side. And you pay nothing unless they win. Don't guess, don't wing it. Call 856-327-8899 or visit CraigAltmanLaw.com. Local office in Vineland, backed by a Philly firm that knows how to win.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles.
They've got him. It's a sack.
Sixers.
Oh, baby.
And Flyers.
He scored!
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right?
Yeah. Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Josh Hennig broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company in North Cape, May. It's a great day to hang out. I mean, it's a little cloudy outside, so you're not going to walk or anything. No, you're going to come down to Gusto Brewing Company for a free comic book day, celebrating Star Wars weekend with not one but two new beers dropping. And of course, we are talking the Phillies somehow having a 4-game winning streak. The Sixers and the Celtics tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN as the broadcast coverage. Flyers game 1 versus Carolina tonight on our sister station, Rock 104.1, the Rock 104.1 mobile app at 8 p.m. So we got a lot on tap today, with a lot to get to, and of course the Ivy Rehab injury report coming up in about 25 minutes from now. Keep a text coming in, like Jack, Cape May Courthouse, who disagree with me a little bit, but that's okay, at 609-403-0973. Shaner and EHT, thank you guys for texting in, joining the conversation. Shout out to Vince back in the studio doing yeoman's work today, helping us put not one but two shows on. You know, Billy Schwein in the locker room was at Cooper River this morning. I'm down here in North Cape May. I mean, me and Billy Schwein's show, we're as far apart as humanly possible as we can for two remote shows. We are like almost 90 minutes away from each other, but we're hanging out with you here on 97.3 ESPN. Right now, we're going to get to my conversation. So Chris Mannix has covered the NBA for a couple decades now for Sports Illustrated. Now he's working with NBC Sports. Of course, the Sixers-Celtics game is tonight. Not just on 97.3 ESPN with Tom McGinnis calling all the action, but you can watch the game on regular NBA on NBC. So here is my conversation with the one and only Chris Mannix about tonight's game. Josh Hennig back here on 97.3 ESPN, and
people are losing their minds because somehow, some way, this Sixers-Celtics series has gone 7 games. And a man who has seen a ton of basketball in his time, who probably even he didn't expect to see this, is Chris Mannix, of course, senior writer, Sports Illustrated, NBA on NBC. The coverage is tonight on NBC and Peacock, Sixers and Celtics. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm good, man. Excited to see how this one plays out. It definitely was not what I expected when Boston went up 3-1.
You mentioned about what I expected, and I think that's a good point I want to start with. For you, where was the point in this? Was there a moment in the series or was there a moment in a game where you kind of realized, oh, snap, things are not going the way Boston expected?
Well, I think you have to look at Game 5 and how that played out, specifically with Joel Embiid and the impact he had in that game. Game 4, everything that could have gone wrong with that return probably did go wrong. Embiid looked sluggish. He led the team in shot attempts, which I thought was a mistake given how well the backcourt had played up until that point. And, it just looked like this team was trending in the wrong direction. You fast forward to Game 5 when Embiid is impactful, not just with scoring, but passing, rebounding, blocking shots, getting the Celtics and their bigs into foul trouble. That was a trigger for me where I'm looking at him going, all right, well, this is not a guy that's just kind of easing his way back in after, having an appendectomy. It's a guy that's ready to play and ready to make an impact. And he's started to expose some of the front court issues that the Celtics have. And we've seen what Edgecombe can do, what Maxey can do. We saw in Game 6 what Paul George can do. I think the impact of Embiid in that Game 5, though, really set the tone for where this series has gone.
All right, so Embiid, huge impact on the series. So is there anything in your eyes that Boston can do to neutralize or slow him down? Because it feels like so far they have had zero answers, which is surprising because from someone like myself, I look at Missoula and Boston as a team that has played good defense this year.
They have, and historically they've played good defense against Joel, but it's about the horses you got in the stable. And in the recent years where the Celtics have bounced Philly in 3 of the last 7 postseasons they've played in, they've had different personnel. I mean, they've had Al Horford, who has been kind of an Embiid killer over the years. They've had Kristaps Porzingis. They've had other bigs in that front court that have caused him problems. This version of the Celtics doesn't have that. You're seeing the flaws that Nikola Vucevic has defensively. Keita, I think, has been one of the most improved players in the league, but he doesn't have the physical strength to match up with Joel in the post. Same thing with Luka Garza. They just don't have the guys that can match up and play with the kind of force that's needed. On top of that, you can get away with that if your bigs are doing other things, but Nikola Vucevic can't buy a three-pointer in the series. So if he's not knocking down threes and dragging Joel away from the rim and creating problems of his own, there's just not a lot of use for him out there on the floor. So I think for Joe Mazzulla, they're going to have to get creative here. They're going to have to try some different lineups because you just can't send bigs out there like you used to and hope that they can be a deterrent to Joel Embiid.
Chris Mannix joining us here, of course. Game 7 tonight on NBC. Sixers, Celtics. You could also watch it on Peacock. Chris Mannix joining us, senior writer for Sports Illustrated. And Chris, if I can just kind of tap into, because you also cover the world of boxing very closely for years. And I want to know for you, we always hear the term styles make fights. Do you think the Sixers' style is the biggest problem going into this Game 7? Or do the Celtics maybe have something up their sleeve that they can maybe pull out as we get into the 7th game, which you could argue maybe like the 15th round of a championship fight?
Yeah, I mean, there are going to be adjustments, but I think the biggest adjustment the Celtics have to make if they want to win is to match the force that Philly has played with. I mean, Embiid, who we've talked about, played with force. Maxey getting downhill. Edgecombe doesn't look like a rookie. Even Paul George, with the way he's defended against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, is playing with a different level of force. Like, they're getting into Tatum, being physical with him. in ways that I really haven't seen teams do since his return to the lineup. And the Celtics, they've got to match that. They've done that in the past. They've got guys that can do it, but they've got to match that. The other thing, that works maybe against Philly in a way is that it's really hard to win 3 straight in the postseason. And one other thing I noticed from game 6 was that when Joe Mazzulla pulled his starters out of the game, the bench players didn't stop playing. And what I mean by that is that they were applying a lot of pressure in the fourth quarter of game 6. They were being physical with Embiid, physical with Maxey, knocked both those guys down at different times. Part of me thinks that was kind of strategic, where if you're Joe Mazzulla and you're not going to win the game, one of the best case scenarios here is that you can drain the gas tank, drain the energy bar of Philadelphia a little bit more, especially with this quick turnaround with less than 48 hours between these games. I want to see in Game 7 which team comes out and plays with force, which team is assertive, which team is getting downhill, getting to the free throw line, being the one dictating the pace, because I think that team is the one that's going to win the game.
You mentioned about Tatum earlier and about, teams have not been to him what Philly has been doing to him the last few games. Are there any concerns about Jason Tatum? He came back in almost record time from a pretty serious injury, and then you saw last night he's got the ice on the other calf and leg, right? So is there any concern where it's like, hey, we need Tatum, right? But can the Celtics win if Tatum is not, 100% Jason Tatum?
Yeah, I mean, he's never going to be 100% Jason Tatum this season. The difference is from the last, few games that he's been trending upward for most of the season, and he's kind of plateaued or even trended down over these last couple of games. The calf is a concern to me. I've talked to people around Tatum who have told me he's fine, who's told me he's going to play in Game 7 that's not worried about this. But one of the concerns you have when you're coming off this kind of catastrophic injury that he had is that you compensate too much. And I'm not a doctor, but seeing him tweak the other leg and the other calf tells me that maybe there's a little bit of an overcompensation going on from Jason Tatum. And look, even if he plays, they don't need him shooting 25-footers on a regular basis. Like, you're not going to win this game just posting up beyond the three-point line and hoping some of these threes go in at a higher rate. You've got to get to the basket. You've got to put pressure on those bigs. You've got to get Joel Embiid in foul trouble, get Paul George in foul trouble. Look, Jason Tatum's been a guy in the past who's gotten to around 10 free throw attempts per game. Jaylen Brown, same thing, can be physical. They've got to be physical in a game like this. It starts with Tatum, just being more than just a perimeter shooter.
You just led me up to my other thing I wanted to ask you about, which is Jaylen Brown. This guy was an MVP candidate caliber player throughout the regular season. What does his role need to be tonight when the Sixers play the Celtics on NBC and Peacock?
This is where Jaylen Brown's got to shine. I mean, he's got a lot of positive, deserved press this year for what he's done as the leader of this team. He's going to be, in my opinion, first team All-NBA. He deserves to be in the top 5 for MVP. But look, we're 24 hours removed from criticizing Nikola Jokic for how he didn't really show up in this first round series. If the Celtics go out, the criticism will be the same for Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown wanted exactly this kind of opportunity. He wanted to be the number one guy on a stage like this, on a team like this, in an opportunity like this. He laid an egg in Game 6. The turnovers were a problem. The lack of assertiveness, to me, was a problem. This is where you become a star if you're Jaylen Brown. This is your chance to bust out, have a huge game, and lead your team into the second round. I mean, the criticism on Jaylen Brown will be a lot like, I think, the criticism that was directed at Nikola Jokic if this doesn't go Boston's way.
Speaking of criticism, if Boston doesn't win this series, does any of that criticism roll over to Joe Mazzulla or Brad Stevens?
It definitely would hit Mazzulla because I do think he's been outcoached in this series by Nick Nurse. I think some of the adjustments that Nurse has made on both ends of the floor have been effective. And look, the Celtics had one of the best offensive ratings in the NBA this season, an offensive rating that was better than the rating they had last year, and they've been positively anemic over these last couple of games. A lot of that's on the players. Some of that, though, is on the coaches. So Joe Mazzulla will not avoid the stink of a potential loss in this series. As far as what it could ripple out to. I don't think anything. I think, we're past the point of saying the Celtics are playing with house money because they're the number 2 seed and they are among the favorites to win the conference. But this was not expected this year for Boston. Like, most people had them pegged in the 30s when it came to wins. They win 56 games this year. There would be understandable and deserved criticism of Mazzulla and of Jaylen Brown and of others if they get beat in the first round. But I don't think there's any kind of fallout after that. I don't think anybody's job's in jeopardy. I don't think there's any issue with any kind of trades. I think this team is just, they're pretty well positioned for the long term with the core that they have.
I don't think I'm the only person who kind of had my eyebrows raised when you said earlier about the idea that Joe Mazzulla has been outcoached, because in our area, Chris, there's a lot of people who have been critical of Nick Nurse. Nick Nurse, the guy that we saw in Toronto, hasn't always shown up in Philadelphia. The guy who's great at, taking the average guy, getting more out of him. And this year, there have been times that Sixer fans have been chanting, fire Nick Nurse. So now you're telling me that in the postseason, when the lights are brightest, all of a sudden Nick Nurse found an ace up his sleeve? Like, how do we rationalize the Nick Nurse we saw in the regular season compared to the Nick Nurse just 2 minutes ago? You said, in this series, he is outdoing Joe Mazzulla.
I mean, I think he is, and I don't think there's any denying that. I can't justify what we've seen during the regular season because this team has underachieved. I mean, I believed, coming in, I thought they'd be in different, they'd switch places with Boston, where they'd be the number 2 seed and the Celtics would struggle to get into that play-in. It's been the reverse, and Nick Nurse has to take some of the criticism for it. I mean, some of that is injuries. The George stuff happening as well was problematic, but Nick Nurse, I don't think he's had a great year. I do think he's having a really strong series, and I think his ability to reincorporate Embiid on the fly, to get this team playing the way they're playing the last couple of games, to keep Boston in check, to keep that offense in check. If we're going to tattoo Nick Nurse for what he didn't do during the regular season, we got to give him credit for what he's doing now. Now, that being said, they lose Game 7. I think there are a lot of jobs that could be in trouble potentially in Philadelphia. I mean, I think that's fair to say. But right now, I think Nick Nurse is having a really good series, and look, just like Jamal Mosley in that 8-1 matchup with Orlando and Detroit, Nick Nurse putting himself in position to kind of redeem everything that may have gone wrong during the regular season and wipe away a lot of the criticism that he heard during the season.
And frankly, there are some people in our area, Chris, there's a lot of Sixer fans in this area who are actually almost rooting for the Sixers to lose this game tonight on NBC and Peacock so they can clean out some of the house. But the winner of this game, Chris, as you know, moves on to the next round. After Game 7 tonight on NBC and Peacock is where you can watch the game Sixers-Celtics Game 7. They play the Knicks, the winner of this game. So who is the team that the Knicks want to see versus who's the team they don't want to see on the projected Monday start of that series?
I think they would probably rather see Philadelphia, but it's not by a lot. The Knicks beat the Celtics in the playoffs last year, but they've struggled with them at times this year, and they just barely beat them in New York about a month ago in a game that Jaylen Brown didn't play in. I think the Celtics are probably on paper at their best a tougher matchup, but this is a different version of Philadelphia. If they get through Boston, they're going to be clicking. They're going to be having all their guys. Edgecombe's going to have another round of playoff experience under his belt. And look, I mean, for Sixers fans that would like to see some wholesale changes, I understand that. It's been a difficult year, but remarkably, this team has a chance to win the damn conference. Like, you beat Boston, you'll be an underdog going into New York, but New York's fallible. Like, they beat up on an Atlanta team that wasn't ready, but Atlanta had a 2-1 lead on them at one point during that series. The Sixers can beat the New York Knicks. Then you get to the other side of the bracket, and you can't tell me the Sixers can't beat whoever comes out of that mess over there. I mean, as bad as this regular season has gone, as messy as it's been with the George stuff and Embiid working his way back from injury, for every team in the Eastern Conference, Philadelphia included and especially, there is a chance to write one of the great redemption stories of any season. And they're in a great position right now going into Game 7 to start that.
He's Chris Mannix. Check out all of his NBA coverage over at SI. He's their senior writer for Sports Illustrated. Don't forget the NBA on NBC tonight. Sixers, Celtics, Game 7 on NBC and Peacock is where you watch the game. Chris, I really appreciate you jumping on. Great stuff.
You got it. Anytime.
It's Sixers Celtics Game 7 tonight. Listen as Tom McGinnis calls all the Sixers.
There we go. All right. We are back here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. My apologies to Vince back in the studio. A little bit of a mix-up there. But, yeah, we are back here at Gusto Brewing in North Cape, May. Great stuff there from Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated. Again, you can watch the Sixers-Celtics game tonight on regular NBC. No streaming platforms needed to watch the game. A couple things we want to get to before we get to the Ivy Rehab injury report. Speaking of injuries, I just got the news alert from the Philadelphia Phillies that we were in a conversation with Chris Mannix that JT Realmuto has been activated from the injured list. To make room for him on the injured list, they have designated Dylan Moore for assignments. A couple things I find interesting about this decision is, number one, Realmuto he didn't really have one specific injury. He was just overall banged up. So you have to wonder how much of the time off versus actual rehabilitation, right? And I think it's something we've discussed on the Ivy Rehab injury report coming up in a few minutes in the past, is that, sometimes these recoveries, it's less about specific rehab. It's sometimes just about letting your body rest, letting your body recover. So I feel like that's what happened with Muto there. The other part of the conversation, that news that came out while we were talking with Chris Mannix from Sports Illustrated and NBC Sports, is Paul George is listed as probable with illness. Now, that can be interpreted one of two ways. Is it Paul George is sick and he's going to have a bad game tonight? Or is Paul George sick and he's going to be extra motivated? He ain't Michael Jordan. We all know that. That's for darn sure. All right. We'll get back to text board later this hour. 609-403-0973. That is the text board to get on the conversation. Again, you could hear Sixers versus Celtics Game 7 tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN. Flyers Carolina Game 1 is on our sister station, Rock 104.1. It's streaming on the Rock 104.1 mobile app at 8 p.m. And of course, we are live here at Gusto Brewing Company. Free comic book day, as well as not one, but two new brews dropping here at one of my favorite craft breweries in all of South Jersey, down here in North Cape May. Right next, coming up next, the Ivy Rehab Injury Report with over 80 locations around South Jersey offering best-in-class outpatient physical therapy. Dr. Josh Lamwood joining us to talk about two injuries that have a lot of regular person applications. It's not just pro athletes who deal with injuries. It's also, these are the kind of issues that you could be dealing with as well. That's next on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN.
McGinnis calls all the Sixers playoff action.
Brown down the lane. Brown rejected by the Sixers. Here comes the run out. George Mine is back to BJ, and he slams it. Timeout Boston. What a game. Are you kidding me? BJ Edgecombe slams it in.
The Sixers face the Boston Celtics. Game 7 tonight. Coverage begins at 7:30 on South Jersey's home for Sixers playoff basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Planning a graduation party? A summer family gathering? Memorial Day weekend mixer? The one-stop shop where I go is Boulevard Super Liquors. Located on Roosevelt Boulevard at the foot of the Ocean City 34th Street Bridge, Boulevard Super Liquors has the best selection of craft beer, whiskey, vodka, wines, and tequila in all of South Jersey. Plus, if you're traveling down the Garden State Parkway, Boulevard Super Liquors is within minutes of exit 25, so you can jump off the exit and get back on the road within minutes. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, Boulevard Super Liquors also has the largest temperature-controlled wine room in New Jersey. These are just some of the reasons why my favorite stop is Boulevard Super Liquors, with the best selection at the Jersey Shore. Visit them on Instagram and Facebook to learn more about upcoming tasting events. And don't miss your chance to win a signed Devontae Smith helmet or a Cooper DeJean jersey when Hanging with Hennig broadcasts live on Saturday, May 23rd from Boulevard Super Liquors on Roosevelt Boulevard at the foot of the Ocean City 34th Street Bridge. The best selection of beer and spirits in South Jersey.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
Is your trading stopping you from shopping? It's time to drop in some Matt Black Nissan.
We need your trade-in today, and we're willing to overpay. At Matt Black Nissan and at Matt Black Affinity. AJ the trade-in man will pay you up to $4,000 over a Kelly Blue Book fair trade value for any trade-in in any condition, even if it's not paid off. New 26 Matt Black Nissan Rogue, just $269 per month. New 26 Matt Black Nissan Kicks, just $289 a month. Or finance select new Nissan or Infiniti at 0% APR for 60 months. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Our lenders can get almost anyone approved. Come see us today at Matt Black Nissan and at Matt Black Infinity. And the Black Horse Pike in Egg Harbor Township.
It's time to drop in some Matt Black Nissan.
With approved credit, go to mattblacknissan.com for details or 877-289-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes. $1667 per thousand financed for 60 months at 0 APR through NMAC. Negative trade equity refinanced. Subject to lender approval. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
When it comes to injuries, you can't afford to get it wrong. Insurance companies, they delay, deny, and pay as little as possible. Who's on your side? The law offices of Craig A. Altman. Car accidents, slip and falls, serious workplace injuries. They build cases to put real pressure on the other side. And you pay nothing unless they win. Don't guess, don't wing it. Call 856-327-8899 or visit CraigAltmanLaw.com. Local office in Vineland, backed by a Philly firm that knows how to win.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I don't want them to gain another yard.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
You blitz all night.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company in North K. May, hanging out with you here on 97.3 ESPN. It is time for the Ivy Rehab Injury Report with over 18 locations around South Jersey, offering best-in-class physical therapy. They were my physical therapists. When you got an injury, you need to go to Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy. And joining us, he is back. He joined us actually for the first couple editions of the Ivy Rehab Injury Report. It is Dr. Josh Lamb. Dr. Josh, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Josh. So glad to be back. Excited to talk about some injuries and how people can learn to take care of their bodies and to get back to what they want to do better.
I think the cool thing about what we're doing here, Dr. Josh, is the idea that these are not just exclusive to athletes, right? These are things that happen in the real world. That's why I find the Jason Tatum situation so fascinating the other night, because those didn't see, Tatum had ice, not on the leg he had surgery on, the opposite leg. So the reports came out that he was dealing with what they call discomfort in his left calf that led him to needing treatment. He said he had stiffness in the left calf, but the doctor said everything is good. Now, the concern, though, is that Tatum had a ruptured Achilles in his right leg about 12 months ago. So, Dr. Josh, from your perspective, when someone comes and says, hey, I had the injury on the opposite leg, but now I'm having a similar area of issue on the other leg, what does that say to you?
Absolutely, Josh. This is a very interesting situation in that I wanted to kind of approach this by talking a little bit about pain science directly, because certainly there could be room for another injury on the opposite side. But in this situation, what I wanted to kind of focus on is what pain is, how it affects the body, what systems and what factors can influence pain, And it's actually a pretty fascinating, kind of complex situation. So as you said, he had that stiffness in his leg, in the left leg. His history of injury was more on the right. What I want to say about pain is that pain is not an input from the body to the brain. That's often how we think of it. We think, okay, there's something going on in my calf. The calf sends signal up through the nerves, up to the brain, and then we feel that sensation of pain. That's actually not the way pain works. The body sends objective data. It sends kind of factual, this is going on, this is being stretched, this has got this pressure, whatever it might be. And the brain will then take it among many other factors, and it will kind of interpret that information and decide whether there's potential for injury or not. And if it determines that there is, it will produce a pain response, which our consciousness then, reacts to kind of pull ourselves away from the potential dangerous situation. But there are many, many factors that go into that, including stress, expectations for what we're doing, even outside things like the weather, your immune system. If you have a cold or are feeling sick, you'll notice that you feel pain more easily. And two that I want to more specifically focus on in this situation, fear and memory. Fear of the unknown. Things can be much, much scarier when they're unknown. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what's in the dark room. If you're thinking about storytelling in a movie, we don't know what the monster is, for example, and that's the scariest part of the movie. Once it's revealed kind of what's going on, that kind of calms the nervous system, and we have a better understanding of what's going on. Things seem to be less fearful, less reactive, less heightened and hypersensitive within the nervous system. There's a very interesting kind of story that with my daughter, actually. So when she was young in elementary school, they had an activity where they brought in a bouncy house, and she was jumping on the bouncy house, and she kind of twisted her ankle. She complained about a little bit of pain. She was called to the nurse. The nurse came over. The nurse called me up and said, "Hey, I think you need to take your daughter in for an x-ray. She's in a lot of pain. I think there might be something wrong." So, left work, came, picked her up, took a look at it. And I was thinking to myself, let me do a little evaluation here and kind of see what's going on, because she refused to step on it. She refused to walk on it. She was saying how much it hurt. So I did an assessment on it, looked at it, kind of ran through some tests and measures, and determined that there was very, very, very little chance that there could be any actual trauma or injury. So I encouraged her. I said, let's walk on it. Let's walk this out. Let's get you moving a little bit. And within a few minutes of her feeling confident, feeling understanding of that it was safe and it was okay, her pain dropped to near zero. And next thing you knew, she was, running around having a great time. And I'm certainly not saying, people shouldn't go to the doctor and get evaluated. I did a thorough evaluation and knew, with quite confidence that she could at least test out to see if it was safe to walk on. And in this case, it was. So educating and learning about what was going on helped calm the nervous system down, helped calm her down, and helped her feel a lot better. Another aspect of pain science I wanted to talk about real quickly is about pain having a memory. Memory and expectation of things that have happened in the past play a huge role in our experience with pain. There's a very interesting case study that I learned about when I was in physical therapy school, where a man was hiking through the woods and he felt something kind of brush his leg, kind of a normal expected thing to happen when you're hiking in the woods. Didn't think of it for a brief moment, but then he looked down and realized that he had been bitten by a snake. Oh. He had to be rushed to the hospital. They had emergency, medical care. He had to be taken care of. It was a very painful, kind of traumatic experience for him. Fortunately, he was able to have a full recovery. Everything ended up being okay in the end. And he enjoyed, going for hikes and walks. So he picked that habit back up again. And a year or two later, he was hiking through the woods again, and very similar situation, felt something brush his leg. And he immediately fell down in dire, horrendous 10 out of 10 pain. But then they were able to look down and realize he had just gotten a little scrape from a little stick. Very, very, very mild or little injury. But his experience and his memory of what had happened in that traumatic situation had heightened his nervous system to what was going on. And until he was able to get more information and more data, his immediate response was of severe and significant pain. I think these two situations kind of play a significant role in what happened with Jason Tatum in the trauma that he had on the other leg, with the unknown. Hey, is this injured? Is this not? I feel this stiffness. I don't know what's going on. These things can play a role in building that fear and that unknown of what is happening, especially in, what's going on in the, in his play right now. It's a very, very stressful, very significant time. He wants to do well. And so all those things can heighten the nervous system. Fortunately, as a professional athlete, he has access to some of the best, doctors, therapists, trainers, and they can give him an immediate on-the-spot, thorough evaluation assessment. And they did. They determined there's no trauma. And that's something very important to understand, is that pain and injury don't always correlate. How many times have you looked down and realized, oh, where's that bruise from? I didn't even realize I had it. And or vice versa, you feel a twinge in your leg and like, oh, what's that pain coming from? But there's nothing going on. There's nothing there. Pain and injury, pain and trauma don't always go hand in hand. That's, what we typically expect, but there is sometimes a bit of a disconnect where pain can have a little bit of a life of its own. So the doctors were able to assess, they were able to determine, hey, you know what? There's nothing wrong. There's nothing traumatic injured. Yeah, there's fatigue, there's stress of the game, there's stress of the sport. Maybe we need to do a little recovery work, but there is no injury that we need to necessarily recover from. And what we can all gain from that as, lay people, not professional athletes, who don't have access to doctors 24/7. One of the things I absolutely love at Ivy Rehab, we have what we call direct access, meaning the patients can come straight to us. They don't have to go to the doctor first. You call us, we'll get you in within 24 to 48 hours. We will do a thorough assessment. We are trained as doctors of physical therapy to assess whether something is safe, whether something does need further medical intervention to refer to a doctor, should that be the case. And hopefully, if it's something more minor, we can get you back to things very, very quickly. Simply educating people about pain and what's going on, taking away that curtain of the unknown, helping to establish a sense of confidence and belief that, okay, it is okay to start moving. It is okay to start recovering from this injury, plays a huge role in getting people back to what they want to do much more quickly. So education is such a key role in pain management in situations like this.
And I've mentioned this with my own experience with Ivy Rehab, is that, with my neck recovery, for example, it was one of those things where it was like, hey, I'm still feeling pain. And so you guys were like, hey, let's go through the steps. Let's try to evaluate, like, okay, what is the pain? Is it different? Is it less? Is it more? For example, my range of motion came back before the pain the pain intensity came down. So it was like, hey, now you're feeding the client, the patient information, right? And say, hey, you are getting better. This isn't as bad as you might feel like it is. I think that goes to the balancing act of, you don't want to tell people to not get help, but you also want to tell people if you don't need to get help, maybe wait a day. Let the body calm down. Maybe take a rest. I mentioned with JT Realmuto before you came on about the idea that you and I have talked about before. Sometimes the body just needs a rest. It doesn't need a bunch of extra stuff.
Exactly. Yep. And, that leads to, like we said with Real Mucho, sometimes the body is just taking a lot of stress and a lot of load, and it may not be traumatically injured or damaged, but it just needs that time to recover. And that alone, just understanding the difference after having a thorough medical evaluation from a physician or a physical therapist, can play such a role in helping us recover more quickly and avoid falling into, chronic pain situations where sometimes the pain can outlive the actual injury itself. And that's something we strive very hard to avoid.
The Ivy Rehab injury report with their 18 locations around South Jersey, best in class physical therapy. They're my physical therapist, and they are who you should check out as well. Dr. Josh Lamb joining us. The other injury I want to get to is also a injury that, again, these are injuries that the average person can have, right? So Minnesota Timberwolves star Anthony Edwards, he's not playing right now. So he hyperextended his knee and he sustained a bone bruise. There's a lot of concern initially that he may have torn something in his knee. Well, he is a player who a month ago we talked about here on the Ivy Rehab injury report. He had another knee injury, no ligament damage. Now, the other knee, they're calling it runner's knee. The right knee is runner's knee. The left knee is hyperextension with a bone bruise. So when you have a patient, let's say they come in, let's say they have both their knees are banged up or both their shoulders are banged up. What is the procedure for someone who has not one but two joints on opposite parts of the body, both banged up?
It's a very interesting situation, and that these can feel somewhat similar. You're having pain in the right knee, you're having pain in the left knee. What's the difference between these two situations? And this is kind of a good example of two different possibilities. The first one, let's talk about the right knee first, that runner's knee, usually what we would call patellofemoral pain, generally just a cumulative stress injury, an overuse injury. There's just a lot of stress going in through it over time, and that stress just adds up over time, making it difficult for the knee to recover, and it can start becoming painful, inflamed, and irritated. So this wouldn't be from a single moment of trauma, but more an accumulation of stress over time. And one of the interesting things about this situation is that it's often within the connective tissue, because like the ligaments, the joint capsule, the tendons, And that's because connective tissue tends to recover noticeably slower than muscle tissue. More fleshy tissues like skin or muscle, they're highly, there's a very, very good blood flow, a lot of vascularization through them, a lot of very easy delivery of oxygen and nutrients in order to recover from whether, stress or injury. Connective tissue is much more dense. It's much more fibrous, much more, much lower vascularity, where it takes longer to get the blood flow, the oxygen, the nutrients into those areas for them to recover. And that's a big aspect of our therapy for recovery for these situations, is to maximize the blood flow, to maximize the healing factors into those tissues so that they can get better as quickly as possible. The other injury is more of a traumatic injury. So the left knee, more that hyperextension injury, likely they didn't diagnose as any significant structural ligament damage, so there was likely some level of grade 1 ligament sprain that would not show up on imaging like an MRI or anything like that. Those are the microscopic injury tears in the ligaments that you can't see with the naked eye, but it does stress the ligaments when they get suddenly stretched so aggressively. Plus the impact on the bone itself can cause that inflammation within the bone tissue itself. That would be more a, protect the healing tissue, but you can still kind of work around the healing tissue within the ranges of motion that don't directly stress them. For example, with ligaments are not contractile. They don't stretch, they don't contract. They're like ropes. They kind of bind the joints together and hold them in place. And as long as you're not putting direct tension through that ligament, that rope, so to speak, you're not really stressing it. And you can still work the knee. You can strengthen the muscles within that mid-range. You can even do some gentle stretching in the directions that don't directly tension that ligament to keep the joint limber and mobile and flexible and the muscles around it strong and healthy while you protect the actual injured structures and let them heal. So that's going to be a lot more active recovery, gentle stretching, joint mobilizations, strengthen and involve the muscles around it to keep everything very functionally strong. And in that situation too, if there is a ligament sprain, that would loosen and stretch those ligaments out a little bit to allow for a little bit more play in those joints, that we need to make sure that the muscles maintain a lot of strength in order to stabilize and control those joints through the dynamic activities, whether it's sport or cleaning our house or walking on the beach or whatever it might be. So the cumulative stress injury, let it rest, let it recover, maximize the blood flow. The traumatic injury, protect the healing tissue, and strengthen and stretch and mobilize everything else around it to keep it functioning and working well. And in this situation, they're going to be kind of approaching those two different knees in those two different ways to get him back as quickly as possible. You certainly wouldn't want to just treat both knees exactly the same. And that could go for other body parts too, or other injuries, like I said, for any of us.
Yeah, and I just think it's fascinating because, as someone who myself is going through my own set of injuries with my knees, both the injuries were completely different injuries. So it's like if I have the pain or discomfort in the one knee, the other versus the other knee, I'm like, well, no, it's not the same. But the pain might feel the same. Like you mentioned earlier with Jason Tatum, right? Our sensory might feel the same, but the actual issue might be different. And I think that's where having someone like you guys, IV Rehab Physical Therapy, give it a better look, give it a closer look, diagnose a little more information, so you're not just kind of like hoping for the best.
Exactly. And and like I said before, come straight to us. We can get you right in. We can assess any of these injuries you might be having, get you back on the field, get you back to work, get you back to playing with your kids and grandkids as quickly as possible, because that in the end is the main goal of physical therapy. Our goal is to maximize function and get people back to doing what they want to do as quickly and safely as possible. So with that direct access that we have, you can come straight to us the day you get injured, and we'll get you right in and get you feeling better as quickly as possible.
He's Dr. Josh Lamb, of course, IV Rehab Physical Therapy. There are over 18 locations around South Jersey, best in class physical therapy. They're my physical therapists. That's why I recommend them here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Dr. Josh, I appreciate jumping on. Great stuff today.
Thank you so much, Josh. Always a pleasure. Take care.
Josh Hennig hanging out at Gusto Brewing Company in North KMA, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank. See, I don't forget, Hanging with Hennig being brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. That means every bet you place on every sport does more for you. baseball, basketball, hockey, all the games you love all season long. One app, endless rewards like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Get started now by downloading the Caesars Sportsbook app and use my promo code RADIO, DYW. Then place your first bet of $1 or more for a chance to double your winnings on your next 10 bets. Rule your play with Caesars Sportsbook. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll continue here at Gusto Brewing Company in North Cape, hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. And we are streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. Just follow at Josh Hennig.
It's Flyers Hurricane Game 1 tonight on Rock 104.1. Listen as Tim Saunders and Todd Fedorik call all the Flyers playoff action.
They score! Cam York from the point of the Flyers winning in overtime, and they're headed to the second round.
It's Flyers Hurricane Game 1 tonight. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey on South Jersey's classic rock station, Rock 104.1, and the Rock 104.1 mobile app.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and foods. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels of Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit us on our website, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com.
Filling marble and tile, transforming spaces into beautiful places.
Hey, it's Joe Kelly. Filling Marble and Tile Retail Outlet in South Jersey is a premier family-owned stone dealer and installation expert. Residences, businesses, hospitals, schools, Atlantic City casinos, and more have trusted Filling Marble for quality marble, granite, and tile. Stop by today.
Filling marble and tile, transforming spaces into beautiful places.
See them online at fillingmarble.com.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah. Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi, it's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a Matte Black Kia. Hop out of your old car and into a new Matte Black Kia for less at Matte Black Kia in Egg Harbor Township. 26 Matte Black Kia Sportage LX, just $139 per month. 26 Matte Black Kia K5 GT line, just $149 per month. All new 2027 Matte Black Kia Telluride, $339 per month. Drive now and pay later with 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, we'll pay you up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade in any condition. Have a job clearing $450 per week? Matte Black Kia wants to get you approved today. We sell more, so you save more. Matte Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township, or mattblattkia.com.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a Matt Blatt Kia.
24-month leases, $59.99 due at signing. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Interest occurs from date of purchase on select models. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I want my picks back, and I want David Putney.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
I want all my picks back, and I want David Putney just because I feel like it.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, I am. Haven't I proved that already?
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing. There's so much going on today. We got not one but two new beers dropping here on location. We also got a free comic book day with Star Wars weekend. But, really one of the best parts of the day is the fact that Smoker Nadell is here slinging food. And I got Rob, who I always describe as my favorite Steelers fan, joining us here on 97.3 ESPN. Rob, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, brother. Great to see you. It's awesome. Even though the Pens got smashed, I appreciate the fact that you
wasn't
invited
smashed.
me on. No,
it was a long series.
No, we got smashed.
When they smashed the Flyers at one point when they were,
but that's different. We are not moving on, so you guys smashed us. But hey, water on the bridge.
It's okay. You still have more cups in the last 25 years.
True.
You have what, 3 in the last?
But
25 years?
I don't go about that. See, I'm not that guy.
You're not a Cowboys fan.
I'm not that Yinzer guy that does all that stuff. It doesn't work. No, I hate the Cowboys. Come on, everyone hates the Cowboys. Come on, everyone hates the Cowboys.
That's what Cowboy fan does. They always tell you about all the championships they won 30, 40 years ago.
And you know what? Sometimes older Steeler fans will throw that out there. It's like, guys, stop.
It's like, relax.
Just stop.
Just stop.
We haven't. Just stop. Okay? We're terrible. We're the best undefeated season team ever. But who cares? We have no drafts. I'm not going to get into this. This is completely arbitrary to what we're talking about.
But
they are my team. Damn it.
So now, for those who don't know, you are from the Pittsburgh area.
Yes, I was born in Morgantown, West Virginia, and then I moved to Colorado 4 years, came back to Morgantown, and then went to Pittsburgh, and I graduated high school, junior high school, Pittsburgh, and same with high school in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Yeah. So that is kind of, regardless, I was in the area. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
That area. So Western Pennsylvania, Westmoreland County, Allegheny County, Monongahela County. Those are the two counties. So yeah.
All the counties.
But it's ingrained in you regardless. There's no professional sports teams except for the Steelers there. So or the Mountaineers. So what are you going to do?
Right. And the thing is that what's funny, at least to me, about Pittsburgh is that all the teams have the same colors.
Well, it's a definite theme. It's supposed to be that way because you want to be unified.
Is that what we call it? Unified.
You want to be unified, and that's it. I mean, the stadium for the Pirates is amazing, and the food is fantastic there. The Acrisure Stadium, this food is okay.
Listen, I had this conversation 2 weeks ago here on my show, Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. I hate the name of the stadium.
It's terrible.
First of all, what is it?
It's Heinz Field. It's Heinz Field.
Exactly.
It's always going to be Heinz
It should have
Field.
been kept Heinz Field. Leave the ketchup bottle at the top of the stadium.
It's never going to change.
Whether you're a Steelers fan, it just looked cool.
Perfect. Exactly. I hate the Pepsi logo because I'm a Coke guy, but whatever. But I'm not going to get into that. But I will say the lease is up in 5 years for the stadium itself. It has to they're going to have to renew it, but they're talking about rebuilding the stadium, and it's like. And the Rooneys don't want to do that. They don't want to have any. They want to just renovate it. It's like,
right.
How much money are you going to throw at it? Because apparently the governor said there's no taxpayer money for.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing that you should be mad about. The governor is not a Pittsburgh sports fan.
He's
a
Philly guy.
He's
a Philly guy. That's why he's like, no.
Is he saying that because he's a Philly sports fan, or is he saying it because it's politics?
I don't want to bring politics into it, but that's a son of a gun. Man,
I'm just saying, I'm not.
I agree with you, but
we
need a new stadium.
They call it separation of church and state. It needs to be separation of sport and state.
I agree with you. Politics and sports, that should be completely
right, just separate it.
Get it out of here.
Yeah,
none of that.
Stop telling us.
Stop using your platform for things you think you need to use it for, and just use it for the things you're supposed to, which is sports. Sports. Let's go.
Speaking of sports. I did want to ask you because, what's interesting about, because you mentioned the Penguins losing the series, a lot of people have been conjecturing how close is Crosby to the end.
He's getting there. I mean, we're talking less than 2 years. Maybe 2 years at the max.
Well, the reason I ask is because there's a lot of people who were saying this year, who cover the team much closer than I do, that basically Crosby has turned into a player coach. That he's going around coaching the young guys. So in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, when he retires, do they just make him the head coach?
I mean, it's possible. He might be as a special assistant. You know how they do that stuff in the NFL. They do it for the NHL too, obviously. But
yeah, I
wouldn't doubt that happening just because he does have a lot of knowledge.
Granted. I mean, personally, I want it to happen because I think the head coach of the Penguin is a jerk. I think Dan Muse is a crybaby. He's a petulant child.
I'm not going to disagree with you in all this. I understand. It's very difficult for me to say this, but you're correct. But the thing is, if Crosby actually did come in, it would be very motivating because, I mean, Lemieux did it for a while, or not really, but he was there. He's a consultant.
But he was there. He was in the room, in the building. Well, that presence matters. I mean, you could argue if it wasn't for his presence, maybe they don't get Sidney Crosby.
Right. Absolutely. Him or Malkin or freaking Yager. I mean, my gosh, Jaromir Jagr was amazing for us. But
I'm thinking about how I remember the story because we don't have a lot of time left, so I'll hit it real quick. Yep. So I remember there was a story that apparently the Penguins weren't going to draft Crosby.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and then Lemieux, you remember this, right? Lemieux was like, "No, you have to draft this guy.
You have to." And he had some influence at the time. I think he was actually part owner at the time,
Correct.
or he was owner at the time. And he's like, "Look, just trust me on this. Do it." And obviously, it worked out to a certain degree, of course. But there's only so many things that work out to a certain degree. You know what I mean? They're just, these players have to show up. They have to be who they are, meaning as in they have to be great. That's what they're looking for. They want someone great.
It's called earning your paycheck.
Right. Exactly. You have to earn that pay. And when you get some kind of monikers labeled on you when you're in college or the lower leagues, you have to perform to that ability to be a pro. So, I mean, I get it.
All right, before I let you go, Smoker and Adele food truck, tell everybody about it.
Oh, my gosh. We do brisket, pork, and chicken just a little bit different way. We don't do traditional barbecue. We don't give you slabs of a tray of meat. So you get the meat sweats while you're at a brewery. We give you something you can eat, enjoy, and walk around and actually have another beer if you want to. And, the goal is to make you happy. That's our goal. And we've been doing it since 2000. It's been 8 years. You do the math.
2018.
That's better. We are the diet breaker. I don't care if you're not hungry, you're going to eat. Once you smell us, you're going to eat.
Well, my favorite thing is when I first met you years ago, one of the things you told me, you said is, I'm not making food that I wouldn't like to eat.
Well, I am making food that I would like to eat, but I'm making food that I think everyone else would like to eat. And that's the thing. If you ever came to my parties in my backyard, which where all this started from, you would have eaten everything. You would have ate everything, and it would have been fantastic for you. But that's the thing. We try to bring that spirit of the backyard barbecue to the truck, and that's the whole point. And I think we've done that, and I think people enjoy it to the point where it's fanatical here, specifically at Gusto. They love us here, and we love coming here, and it's awesome. I love Zach, and I don't even know how to explain. I can't even put it into words. As you see, I'm stumbling along here, but it's hard to say what the response is when we come here, and it's fantastic. So I appreciate all of that.
Well, listen, you do a great job. I appreciate you. I know I bust your chops sometimes,
yes,
but
that's okay.
But you're great what you do. I really appreciate you jumping on, and you'll be slinging food all afternoon here at Gusto Brewing.
Yes, sir. I will be here until closing.
All right, Rob.
Great
Good seeing you,
brother.
man.
Have a good night, guys.
Josh Hennig hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Coming up on the other side, we will get back into the Flyers conversation. Kevin Kurz from The Athletic will join us. And plus, we'll get more of your text messages on the other side, 609-403-0973. We're also streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studios. One more hour still to come on Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN. Shout out to Vince doing a great job back in the 97.3 ESPN studios. And yes, we will crack open a couple of brews before the end of the show. Coming up.
Aaron Ewing joined me in the studio. We will recap a huge Saturday night in Philly sports. The Flyers, the Sixers, and the Phillies were all in action. And we will go on the mound with former Phillies pitcher Tommy Green, brought to you by Blitz's Market of Ocean City. Hour 2, Mr. Negadelphia PJ Quarter checks in, brought to you by the Vassar Pool Service. Then we'll get our high school athletes in the spotlight with Fran McLaughlin, brought to you by the Philly Pretzel Factory of Egg Harbor Township. Sunday morning in the locker with Philly Schwein from 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3 ESPN.
Listen up. The soap you shower with, it's you probably haven't even questioned what bar of soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. I'm talking about natural, nourishing, cold-pressed, hand-cut soap for men. Men who use their hands. Men who build things. Men who catch foul balls without spilling their beer. You won't just smell good either. Your skin will be healthier and more nourished. We make our soaps with natural ingredients from the earth. Ingredients like oils, plants, goat's milk, Greek yogurt, oatmeal, shea butter, and citrus. Turn your shower game up to 11. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
Hey, this is Josh Hennig. Go to my social media and click my exclusive Dr. Squatch link for your chance to save $10 off your next order of great natural soap, deodorant, and much more. Only with Dr. Squatch.
Fishing season's here. Get everything you need at the Bait and Tackle Shop at Utch's Marina in historic Cape May. Come to Utch's for a huge selection of spinning and conventional rods and combos for the boat or the surf, with top brands available like Penn, Tsunami, Ocean Max, Shimano, and more. Utch's Marina has all your fishing needs. Live bait, frozen bait, rods, reels, and lures too. Prepare for your next fishing experience. Come see us today at the Bait and Tackle Shop at Utch's Marina, located at the foot of the bridge in Cape May.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-466-9625. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-466-9625.
TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has been proudly serving South Jersey for over 20 years. Owner Matt Calloway was born and raised in Cape May County and has over 25 years of experience in the heating and cooling industry, as well as fireplaces, plumbing, and bathroom renovations. You can always count on a licensed and insured local contractor like TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling to be there promptly and to fix your problem right the first time. If your home needs a little TLC, get TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. Online at TLCPHC.com.
South Jersey's official play-by-play home of the Eagles, Sixers, and Flyers.
At 0 point would I ever consider not being a fan of the team.
97.3 ESPN, WENJ, WENJ HD, Millville, Atlantic City. A Town Square media station serving all of South Jersey.
Finally! This is Hanging with Hennig.
I have friends everywhere.
On 97.3 ESPN Radio, South Jersey.
In New Jersey. Am I right? Yeah.
Live feed on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
It seems to run on some form of electricity. Well, you're not wrong.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
The internet is a communications tool used the world over where people can come together.
Now, here's your host.
He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Josh Hennig.
Hour 3 of Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging out with you live at Gusto Brewing Company in North Cape May. It's a crazy day for sports, right? Sixers Game 7 versus the Celtics. Oh, it is Kentucky Derby Day. It's not really my thing. Phillies coming up at 4 o'clock. We'll have the game on here at Gusto Brewing Company. Come on down, hang out. If you buy a beer, you get a raffle ticket, and you'll be entered into the prize pool of the prizes we will give away at the end of the show. But right now, there is one other game we got to get to. The most improbable of all the games, Flyers. Game number 1 tonight versus the Carolina Hurricanes. And joining us to talk all about it is Kevin Kurz, who covers the Flyers for The Athletic here on 97.3 ESPN. Kevin, welcome back to the show. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you jumping on. And I got to start with this with you because you've been around this team all year. And for you, what has been like the most unlikely, improbable, like craziest part of us sitting here on May 2nd talking about a second-round playoff game?
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that they got in coming out of the Olympic break, they got off to a decent start. If you look at the season as a whole, they were right in it around early January, and then they just fell off a map. Their defensive game, which looked pretty strong early in the season, just wasn't there for about a 4-week stretch. And, we all figured going into that Olympic break that the January killed their chances at the playoffs this year. But coming out of that break, they found their defensive game. The offense started to pick up. They got Tyson Forster back. Porter Martone arrived, and they started to get just enough offense to go with that very good elite level, frankly, defensive play and strong goaltending with Dan Vladar.
You mentioned what happened in January. There were people in January who were saying, maybe Rick Tocchet's not the right coach for this job. There were people out there who were questioning like the construction of the roster. And now you look at this team. What is the biggest difference in your eyes from what the team struggling in January? Like, was it just as simple as they needed the Olympic break, or was it something else?
Yeah, it's a good question. It might have just been a fatigue factor with a young team. The games were coming fast and furious, the compacted schedule before and after the break. And I think they were still learning, frankly, what Rick Tocchet wanted them to do. Now, the chatter that Tocchet was the wrong hire in January was ridiculous, frankly, to me, because this team was never supposed to be competing for a Stanley Cup. They certainly weren't supposed to be in the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But the fact that they did look so bad going into that break. It is kind of remarkable where they are right now. I mean, but as to why it fell off, I'm not sure anyone has a really good answer to that. It's just defensively, they just were struggling. It wasn't there. Maybe it was a hard style to play on a night in, night out basis, but they found it coming out of the break. And Rick Tocchet has even said he talked to Pete DeBoer, who's now the head coach of the New York Islanders, and Pete gave him some suggestions on how to play defensively coming out of the break. And I think Rick and Todd Reardon got together and they liked those ideas and they implemented them.
Talking with Kevin Kurz, of course, covers the Flyers for The Athletic here on 97.3 ESPN. Hanging with Hennig. Don't forget, Flyers tonight will be on our sister station, Rock 104.1, the Rock 104.1 mobile app, because some idiots thought that having the Sixers and the Flyers happen at the same time on the same night was a good idea. I hate money. Anyway, sorry. Side quest to Kevin. So, you mentioned about some of the unlikely elements. How about the unlikely element of the last game? That goal, Cam York. How about his arc, right? Going from being the guy that almost getting in a fight with John Tortorella 13 months ago. Now he's the guy winning the first round playoff series. He's got a lot of criticism. And I felt like that was such an amazing moment for him, being a guy who had been looked at as, is he ever going to live up to expectations? Is he good enough? To him having that goal. I mean, you're around the team every day in the locker room. It felt like every player on that team was ecstatic for him.
Yeah, I mean, Cam York's been here a little while. If you go back to what happened with John Tortorella, obviously that was an unpleasant situation for him at that stage of his career. But at the same time, the team's faith in him didn't really waver from the front office standpoint, because they signed him to a 5-year contract extension in the summer. Is Cam York ever going to be a superstar number one defenseman? No, probably not. But he was still a very big part of what was a strong second pair throughout the course of that post-Olympic break stretch that we've talked about already. He was playing with Jamie Drysdale, and York's offense wasn't necessarily there, but when you're playing with Jamie Drysdale, who has the puck a lot more and who is a little bit more mobile and a little bit more just more dangerous in the offensive zone, and also maybe a little bit more skilled in breakouts, Cam York just didn't have the puck as much as he did maybe earlier when he was paired with some other guys, including Travis Sanheim. So defensively, I think York has been fine. I think he's been pretty consistent throughout most of the year. The fact that he gets the goal, I mean, that just feels like hockey in a nutshell, right? A guy who hasn't scored a goal since January 21st finds a way to unleash that wrister from high in the zone that somehow found daylight to the top corner. So York's a popular guy in the dressing room. Like I said, he's been friends with Trevor Zegras since Zegras got here. Him and Drysdale are close. So it all, I think, is just reflective of, they were happy for York, but this really is a close team in many ways, other than just they all like Cam York. I mean, it's that's been reiterated by Rick Tocchet many times and by anyone you ask in the dressing room.
There's a lot of people in this area, just here in South Jersey. I know it's everywhere for Flyer fans, but the energy everywhere I go, Kevin, is absolutely insane. I had somebody walking by here earlier chanting "Go Flyers" as I'm down here at Gusto Brewing in North Cape May, and we have people texting in. Like, I opened the show with a completely different topic. What are people texting into our text board at 609-403-0973? It's about the Flyers. And you've covered the NHL for a long time. What is your take on the energy from this fan base about this team right now?
I can see this. I can see why this team is popular, and it's not just for winning games. They've got just a young, youthful energy about them, and it's not just one player. Porter Martone came up, and obviously he's the potential next superstar. Matvei Michkov is here. He's still a player that fans gravitate towards, even though he's been up and down throughout the course of the year. But there's other guys, the guys like Denver Barkey, Alex Bump, Zegras obviously is a guy that I think is can become really popular. York, Drysdale. There's just a lot of really young guys that I think fans watching this team, they've seen this young group grow together, especially over the course. It's been a short period of time, but especially over the course of the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, seeing these guys come together, see how much they enjoy playing with each other, how much they play for each other. It's an easy team to root for, frankly, just because of where they are in this rebuild. And I think even if they get smoked this series, which a lot of people think that's going to happen, because Carolina has been through the battles. They were the Eastern Conference's best team in the regular season. Even if the Flyers lose this series in 5 games, I think a lot of the fans, whether they've been with this team through thick and thin or whether they've just jumped on recently, I think they're going to stick with this team and be more interested in the outset next season than maybe they have been in recent years past.
Absolutely. You mentioned about this series. I think this series is very interesting because the Hurricanes play a very different style of hockey than the Penguins do. So does that different style of hockey, does that potentially maybe benefit any of the guys who maybe didn't have as much of an impact in the last series?
They play a different style of hockey because they're much better than the Penguins. I think that's where that starts, frankly. But you're right. Yeah, you're certainly right about that. I mean, this is a team that can come at you in waves. I wasn't impressed at all with Pittsburgh's depth. And even some of their veteran guys didn't do much in that series. I don't expect that in this series. Carolina is getting some. They were driven mostly by one line in the first round, but it was only 4 games, kind of a small sample size. I do expect that their top line with Svechnikov, Sebastian Aho, and Seth Jarvis, they're going to make an impact. But the way they play, they're so well coached. Defensively, this is going to be a low-scoring series. I think everyone expects that. It's going to be whichever team capitalizes on its chances, and that's something that the Flyers have struggled with in the past, is capitalizing on their chances. And in order for them to do that, they're going to need guys like these young guys, like the Martones, Alex Bump, who might play tonight, Zegras. They're going to have to be a little bit better than they were throughout the duration of that series. Some of them sort of faded a little bit late. But, at the end of the day, this is going to be, it might be low event hockey. It might be a little slow sometimes, but if you're the Flyers, you're going to have to rely on Dan Vladar again. He's going to have to outplay Frederik Andersen and Ned on the other end. I think he will, but on paper, that's probably the only advantage the Flyers have in this series. Things can change, but going into it right now, that's the one advantage you look at when you look at these two teams. The Flyers should have the advantage in goal because Dan Vladar was outstanding in the playoffs, just like he was outstanding in the regular season.
That's an interesting point you just made because, historically, whether you're the diehard hockey fan or the casual fan, they always say, well, if you're the better goaltender, you should win the series, right? But It feels like from what you're saying, you're looking at it more like, listen, you guys need to understand the Hurricanes. They got multiple lines deep in terms of guys coming at you. This is not just about the goaltender. This is about the whole team. Whereas maybe another series, it would be more about the goaltender. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goaltender narrative being so important in the playoffs, it obviously is, don't get me wrong, but this isn't like the days of the 90s and the 2000s where it was Marty Brodeur or Dominik Hasek. I mean, it is sort of evolved a little bit, and we've seen teams now make runs using multiple goaltenders, right? I mean, Pittsburgh, we just saw it in the last series. Pittsburgh changes their goalie from Stuart Skinner to Seelovs, and he comes in and plays great and almost forces a Game 7 with the way he played. Edmonton made runs to the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years using multiple guys. So it's not as important anymore, but it is as important for the Flyers, because if Dan Vladar doesn't stand on his head again, I'm not sure anyone, as well as Sam Ersson played coming out of the break, I'm not sure anyone would feel comfortable if he had to end up being the guy. So it's important, but we've seen in the past lately teams make runs that don't necessarily have that, quote unquote number one goaltender. Vegas is a good example. They won with Aiden Hill, who's not even the starter anymore.
Right, exactly. Before I let you go, Kevin Kurz from The Athletic joining us here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. We kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but I wanted to circle back to it about, the job that Rick Tocchet has done. Obviously this team has overachieved compared to what people thought they were coming into the year. So, for you, what is going to be then whatever happens in this series, right? Whether they lose in 5, they win in 7, whatever the scenario is, what is going to be the expectations, we'll call it, put on him moving forward? Because he did more than anyone ever thought he was going to with this team this year. So, do you feel like the expectations are going to be sky high moving forward, or do you think they need to be a little more tempered as people kind of figure out who these Flyers are?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, now that they're in the playoffs, it's easy to predict that when we get together again, even if they lose the series, when we get together again in September for training camp, they're going to say, we want to make the playoffs again. Now, to me, it's going to be more interesting to see how Danny Briere handles the offseason, because, now he's got to feel pretty good about this young core that's in place, but the roster still has some holes. You're still looking for a top line number one center. You're probably still looking for a power play quarterback on defense with a big shot. So, is he going to be a little bit more aggressive in trying to find those pieces now because of the success this team has had that's maybe a little ahead of schedule? I can't answer that. We're going to have to see how that plays out. But, the one thing they've been steadfast in saying is that they don't want this team to make the playoffs one year and miss the next, make it miss. They want to have sustainable success. So I think Briere will remain patient. If nothing comes up, if Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews aren't dangled as trade bait this summer and nothing's out there to fit the number one center, I don't think they're going to reach and try to find someone that they don't think is going to be a fit long-term. So that's why the offseason is going to be fascinating to me, to see how they approach it and see, how big the swing is that they might take, just depending on who might be available.
For more Flyers coverage, check out The Athletic. Kevin Kurz covers the Flyers all season long, and tonight is Game 1, Flyers versus Carolina. Kevin, appreciate you jumping on. Great stuff today.
Okay, thanks. Anytime, Josh. Take care.
Absolutely. Josh Hennig hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing down in North Cape May. We're going to check back in on the text board in a little bit at 609-403-0973. I see Joey D from Ventnor's, one of the people chiming into the show. Don't forget, if you are in the area, come on down, hang out. They got not one but two new brews that dropped here at Gusto Brewing. Of course, they got the Doom Sauce IPA. They also have the Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away coffee milk stout, of course, other great brews as well. So whatever your taste is, they got something for everyone here at Gusto Brewing. Smoker Adele is in the parking lot to my left, slinging the food all afternoon. Of course, they will also have the Phillies game on today at 4 o'clock here at Gusto Brewing Company. And of course, I will be hanging out as well with everyone It's a great day. It's a fun day. Listen, we got a free comic book day. And again, you buy a beer, you get a raffle ticket. The raffle ticket means you're in the running for the prizes. The prizes are a first come, first serve. I got a 76ers hat, 2 76ers different shirts, 97.3 koozies, as well as a Caesars Sportsbook hat. Because, you know, there is nothing better than Caesars Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesars rewards. Again, who do you think is going to win the Flyers series? Flyers, Hurricanes, give me your predictions. Who wins Sixers versus Celtics tonight? Sixers versus Celtics, coverage begins at 7 p.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. Flyers at 8 p.m. versus the Hurricanes on our sister station, Rock 104.1. You can stream it as well on the Rock 104.1 mobile app. Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN, being brought to you by my friends over at the law offices of Craig A. Altman. Listen, you do not want to be caught without a good strategy when you get injured. Car accidents, slip and fall, serious workplace injuries. You need someone on your side who knows how to handle the insurance companies. The insurance companies have a game plan. Do you have a game plan? That's why you need the law office of Craig A. Altman. And they don't make sure. They want you to know. They are located here in South Jersey. This isn't some law firm with some big name, with some big fancy television commercial that you see. I mean, there's another law firm that says they're here to help you with your legal issues, and people are jumping over the fan. Okay? No. This is a law firm that's here to help you with your injuries because you pay nothing unless they win. So don't wing it. Don't hope for the best. Don't guess. Call the law offices of Craig A. Altman at 856-327-8899. That's 856-327-8899. Or visit them online at craigaltmanlaw.com. Don't get left stranded with some big name law firm that's just going to try to collect your money to make more television commercials. You need a law firm with tough lawyers who know how to handle tough cases. Get the law firm that knows how to win. The law offices of Craig A. Altman, located in Vineland, backed by a Philly law firm. The law offices of Craig A. Altman, proud sponsors of Philadelphia sports coverage right here on 97.3 ESPN. Josh Hennig hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Streaming live on YouTube and X. Just follow at Josh Hennig. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Join the party down here at Gusto Brewing Company in North Cape May.
Today on ESPN Radio, it's a National League showdown at Wrigley.
Going! Gone! Second three-run homer for Ian Happ today.
The Chicago Cubs have been rolling at home this season. And this weekend, Corbin Carroll and the Arizona Diamondbacks come to town.
Long gone! Corbin Carroll, blast to right center.
Listen to Major League Baseball all season on 97.3 ESPN. Coverage begins later today at 3 p.m.
Planning a graduation party? A summer family gathering? Memorial Day weekend mixer? The one-stop shop where I go is Boulevard Super Liquors. Located on Roosevelt Boulevard at the foot of the Ocean City 34th Street Bridge, Boulevard Super Liquors has the best selection of craft beer, whiskey, vodka, wines, and tequila in all of South Jersey. Plus, if you're traveling down the Garden State Parkway, Boulevard Super Liquors is within minutes of exit 25, so you can jump off the exit and get back on the road within minutes. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, Boulevard Super Liquors also has the largest temperature-controlled wine room in New Jersey. These are just some of the reasons why my favorite stop is Boulevard Super Liquors, with the best selection at the Jersey Shore. Visit them on Instagram and Facebook to learn more about upcoming tasting events. And don't miss your chance to win a signed Devontae Smith helmet or a Cooper DeJean jersey when Hanging with Hennig broadcasts live on Saturday, May 23rd from Boulevard Super Liquors on Roosevelt Boulevard at the foot of the Ocean City 34th Street Bridge, the best selection of beer and spirits in South Jersey.
Making your home look brand new is what Work of Art Construction can do for you. Ready to remodel your bathroom or have a kitchen makeover? Art Masker has 40 years of experience in construction and knows how to make your home look like a work of art. Want to install a new back deck or invest in a new front door? Just call Art Masker at 609-788-4271 to learn more. Visit Work of Art Construction on Instagram to see how Work of Art Construction can make your home look brand new. Beautify your home with Work of Art. Call him at 609-788-4271 and let them make your home truly a work of art.
TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has been proudly serving South Jersey for over 20 years. Owner Matt Calloway was born and raised in Cape May County and has over 25 years of experience in the heating and cooling industry, as well as fireplaces, plumbing, and bathroom renovations. You can always count on a licensed and insured local contractor like TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling to be there promptly and to fix your problem right the first time. If your home needs a little TLC, get TLC Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling today. Online at tlcphc.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-375-2577. 800-375-2577. 800-375-2577.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a Matt Black Kia.
Hop out of your old car and into a new Matt Black Kia for less at Matt Black Kia in Egg Harbor Township. 26 Matt Black Kia Sportage LX, just $139 per month. 26 Matt Black Kia K5 GT line, just $149 per month. All new 2027 Matt Black Kia Telluride, $339 per month. Drive now and pay later with 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, we'll pay you up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade in any condition. Have a job clearing $450 per week? Matt Black Kia wants to get you approved today. We sell more, so you save more. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, or mattblackkia.com.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a Matt Black Kia.
24-month leases, $59.99 due at signing. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Interest occurs from date of purchase on select models. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Now back to Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
I stood right there not too long ago, and I told the entire world, I said, call me what you want. Yeah.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
And there's nothing you can do about it, and that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life. Yeah.
Streaming live on YouTube and the X platform.
Josh Hennig back here, Hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company. It's been a great day here. Everyone's hanging out here in the tap room. Smoker and Adele slinging the food out in the parking lot. Don't forget, a couple weeks from now, I will be back on the road Saturday, May 23rd. We'll be broadcasting live from Boulevard Super Liquors on Roosevelt Boulevard, right at the foot of the 34th Street Bridge. They are the go-to spot for every occasion, graduation parties, family gatherings, Memorial Day weekend, get together. You guys stop by the one and only Boulevard Super Liquors. They got everything you can think of, from craft beers to whiskeys, vodkas, wines, tequilas. Family owned and operated for 4 generations, Boulevard Super Liquors has the largest temperature-controlled wine room in New Jersey, offering you the best in selection of everything you can find. Dinner date, social outing, whatever you got going on, Boulevard Super Liquors is the best. That's why they're my go-to, and you need to check them out on Instagram and Facebook. Learn more about upcoming events, and don't forget your chance to win a signed Devontae Smith helmet or a Cooper DeJean jersey when Hanging with Hennig broadcast live Saturday, May 23rd from Boulevard Super Liquors on Roosevelt Boulevard at the foot of the Ocean City 34th Street Bridge. The best selection of beer and spirits in South Jersey is Boulevard Liquors. That's Saturday, May 23rd. But today, Hanging with Hennig broadcasting live from Gusto Brewing Company down here in North Cape May. Still have time to come down, grab yourself a beer, get into the raffle we will give away at the end of the show. You know, my prizes to my right, we got a couple of Sixers shirts, Sixers hat, 97.3 koozies, and a Caesars Sportsbook hat. I also have a comic book I brought with me for Comic Book Day. So for you Deadpool fans, I got you covered here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. Back to the text board right now, 609-403-1111. 0973. You guys tell me how you are feeling about the Flyers at 8 o'clock tonight. The Sixers at 7:30 tonight. The Phillies at 4 o'clock today. It's an absolute insane day for Philly sports as Joey D and Bentner chimes in on the text board at 609-403-0973. Joey says, all three Philly teams winning today. That's my pick. Schwarber hits a home run. Maxey has 25 points. Mortone has a goal and an assist, and the Flyers win as well. Let's go, says Joey D and Bentner. Joey, if you feel that strongly, I think you need to go on to the Caesars Sportsbook app, throw maybe a little $5 on that three-way, because I'm pretty sure you can get pretty amazing odds if you just go bang, 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 all three. I don't know if the odds are off the top of my head. I had to look it up, but let me see if I can pull up the Caesars Sportsbook while I'm sitting here. I got 20 million things going on. The guys have been making fun of me today. Zach from Gusto, Rob from Smoker and Adele. I got all the equipment here in front of me, just doing 20 million things over here. So we'll see if we could add one more thing to that craziness. Let's see here. On the Caesars Sportsbook app, the Sixers are a plus, what are they? Plus 210. All right. So we got Sixers at plus 210. The Phillies. Let's see here. The Phillies. Just doing it live on the radio. Phillies are underdog today? That can't be right. So that's plus 115. And then hockey. I know the Flyers are definitely underdog tonight. Yeah, plus 210. All right. So, Joey D and Ventnor, if you go on the Caesars Sportsbook app and you parlay Sixers, Phillies, Flyers, that is a plus 1966. So 5 will get you $98. Now, if you want to live dangerously, that's what you do. Again, gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But here's another idea for you. What if you just had everybody covered? Flyers cover the 1.5. We're just having some fun here hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN with the Caesar Sportsbook app, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesar rewards. Sixers cover the 7.5. And listen, I think the Phillies are going to win. The Marlins are not that good of a baseball team, okay? I don't care that Painter's pitching. So let's just go Phillies outright win. Plus 115. So now your odds are 626. Let's say you threw $10, get you 62. So there you go, Joey D and Bentner. I just set up your wagering on the Caesar Sportsbook app because Caesar Sportsbook, the only sportsbook app offering you Caesar's rewards. If you or somebody knows a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But listen, I love the juice Joey's bringing in here, and I think it brings up an interesting point because the Phillies did change their lineup up today, okay? For those who didn't hear about the Phillies lineup, I'm going to pop it up on the screen here on YouTube because yesterday they won with an interesting lineup. But today the news comes out that who? Oh, yeah, some guy named JT Realmuto, he's back in the fold. And if JT Realmuto is back in the fold, he's going to be back in the lineup. So would they just add him to the lineup or would he be an addendum? And I think that's where it's interesting because yesterday you had success with Kyle Schwarber as the leadoff hitter. But today they're not taking the easy way out. No. They're not doing the smart thing. They're not doing the let's go with what's working. They got to keep running out these weird lineups to the Phillies. And this is what I don't understand. Okay, I'll put up the lineup here. If you're watching on YouTube, next with the lineup here on the screen. Turner is back in the leadoff, followed by Schwarber and Harper. Garcia now is back in the 4-hole. Stott, the guy hits one home run. All of a sudden, he's the 5-hole hitter again, followed by Bohm, Realmuto. Then they got Crawford, followed by Reyes. I hate this. Why do they keep taking Crawford out of the 9-hole? He is the perfect number 9 hitter to get on base ahead of the top of the lineup. Reyes is not that guy. Now, I understand part of the reason why this lineup is set up way is because they're facing a left-handed pitcher tonight for the Marlins. But if I'm the Phillies, I'm not playing around. I got to stop shuffling the lineup every 5 seconds. This is absolutely ridiculous. Find a lineup, stick with it for a week or two. Like this, I can't stand Crawford not hitting 9. He's the perfect 9-hole hitter. He's had so much success getting on base. But whatever. I guess Donnie Baseball is infallible and he can do no wrong, right? Because, that's what people are trying to say. People are trying to act like the Phillies have had won 4 straight games, all because they fired the manager. Not because of who they're playing. The Giants and Marlins are not as good at teams as the Braves and the Cubs. Not because the players decided to start doing their job, have better plate approaches. They're doing it because of the manager. Well, the manager gave you this lousy lineup. So what are you going to do now, Phillies fans? Let me know. 609-403-0973. Josh Hennig hanging out with you here at Gusto Brewing down here in North Cape May. You know what is good is the brew here, because they got something for everyone, not just the 2 brews they dropped here at Gusto Brewing today, but they got anything you want on the menu, from IPAs to English dark to, listen, I'm a big fan of O'Shore. It's a great Saison. It's a great brew. So they got a little something for everybody here down at Gusto Brewing, one of my favorite brewing companies down here in North Cape May. Of course, folks can text in your thoughts as well of who is going to win. I didn't prepare him for this, but Vince back in the studio. Why don't you turn on your camera? Because I want to get your thoughts as well on the games tonight. So, Vince, when you get a chance, flip on your camera over there, and we'll pop you. So, Vince, so first you turn on your camera, then you turn on your microphone, okay? I know you might need to turn your microphone on over there because it was originally set up for Billy Schweim in the locker room, 10 a.m. to noon on 97.3, because Billy was down over at, I put myself in the stream. There we go. Vince, how you doing?
There he is. What's going on? How's everything popping down there?
You're all flyered up. Look at that shirt.
Yeah, you gotta be. They're in round 2. No one expected this. No one even expected them to make the playoffs. 3.8%. I still remember that number. I got to get one of those shirts that has the percentage on the shoulder. I think there's a couple of them. It's got like the Bernie Perrant mask on the front and then on the shoulder, 3.8%. I need one of those. I need it.
So how are you feeling about the Flyers game tonight? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Are you trepidatious? What are you feeling?
When I look at it at this point in time, really with the Flyers, it is what it is at this point. They weren't even supposed to be here, and the fact that they were able to get back, get past Pittsburgh, they were leading 3-0. Now, at that point in time, if they would have lost to Pittsburgh, I'm going to admit it, I would have been mad. Even though they're not supposed to be here, I would have been mad just because of the past with Sidney Crosby, Letang, Malkin, the Pittsburgh fans talking all their trash when they don't show up half the time. But, it's still, I would have been angry, but they made it past Pittsburgh. You're going up against a Carolina team that's, well experienced in the postseason. Now, the good thing about it is, and this is something that I think there are some people ignored a little bit, looking at Carolina, 4 out of their past 6 seasons in the postseason, they have lost in the second round. So can the Flyers catch them slacking? That's going to be the big question. Even though they have a lot of talent, I'm not, ignoring that, but can they catch them slacking? I don't know. It's going to be a tough one. They're a juggernaut, but I would say I am excited. I'm excited to see what this young team has to do because they got nothing to lose. They're going out there. They're fighting. Can't wait to see it. They have grit, like Gritty.
Well, I was like Gritty, but they do have – you're right. They are a tough team. My only concern with the Flyers Hurricane series, kind of what Kevin brought up, which is Carolina's going to throw more at you than Pittsburgh can. They're a much better team. They're one of those teams that is just like they know that they're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they know that they can beat you. So for me, I kind of look at it like, I don't want the Flyers. To me, as long as you split the difference in Carolina in the first 2 games, you have a chance. But if you lose both of these games, I can guarantee you they're losing in 5-6 games.
Right. I mean, we know the atmosphere that is down there at the Storm, something they call it, I don't know, whatever it is. But it's they have all the towels set laying on the seats and everything, and I know the atmosphere that's down there. But, I mean, like you said, if they can, split one, and that was what we were talking about in the Pittsburgh series. They need to win one in Pittsburgh. They need to come back with Philly, either one game with a win, one with a loss, whatever it may be. But I think if they can take one in the atmosphere that is down there in Carolina, as tough as that is, I mean, they're one of the best in the league in terms of post-game atmospheres. I mean, Montreal is probably the best, but I mean, It's still I agree with you on that. If they can get one, if they can get two, that would be insane. But again, I want to keep it realistic somewhat. I think you can get this series back to Philly, and you get that home crowd behind you with having at least one game under your belt. I think there's a chance that the smoothness can go now. Obviously, last time the Flyers were leading 3-0, they came back home, they won one game, and then unfortunately, the second game in Philly didn't exactly go the way they hoped, but there's definitely a chance. There is a chance. I'm not going to say 3.8% chance, right? But I'm not going to say that again, right? But no, they have a shot. The kids have a shot, and that's all I've been saying the whole year. Give us a shot.
All right. So how you feel about the Sixers game tonight? Sixers game 7. I mean, what are we doing with this team? I mean, no one expected them to be here. They've won 2 straight games because of their defense. It's realistic, okay? Are you going to the game saying, what, it's house money, whatever happens, happens? Or are you going to the game expecting them to win, Vince?
I want to go with the house money version of what you said, but I mean, I do expect them to win. The talent that they have, I mean, and you're driving home a young talent, especially in VJ Edgecombe. There's a lot of expectation on top of him. What he's been able to do this series, obviously, he went a little silent around Game 3, but it was more so the fact that, I mean, you have guys like Embiid back there at the top, who's been, I mean, he had a 33-point. I mean, he played one of the best games I've seen him play in years. You talk about 2 games ago, but the fact that they were able to, to take as many games as they did in Boston, they finally were able to win a game in Philly. They didn't win a single game in Philly for the entire series, and they finally did so. My expectations were 0, but when I saw them win the game in Philly, I was like, you know what? They actually have something going here. I've been egging people to stop saying we want Boston. I've been saying that constantly. But this is a team that has a shot. I would like them to win. I don't want to go too much on that. Oh, it's only house money, blah, 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 because the talent is there. They just need to execute. They need to be on point. And I think that's something where they've been doing that better as of late. It just there needs to be a consistent factor, especially in their shooting.
Well, I mean, I think when you say they need to be on point, I think it comes down to their defense, though. Their defense has to be there because the defense has to show up, because that's the reason why Boston has shot horribly the last 2 games. Your defense doesn't show up, you don't have a chance in this game tonight. The defense has got to keep it out. Paul George, probable illness. Is that going to be a built-in excuse? Are we going to get an episode of Podcast P this offseason where he tells us the story about his illness and how it doomed the Sixers season? I mean, I know Nick Earnshaw is probably shaking his head somewhere listening to us on 97.3 ESPN, because Nick and I always talk about how we can't stand these players in their pocket. Not because we don't think they should have podcasts, but because the players almost act like the podcast is more important than actually playing. And it's just like
ask AJ Brown.
Well, I mean, that's all another conversation.
I know that's the thing. We'll stick with the Sixers and Flyers. Yeah.
Yeah, the Eagles, that could be another day here on Hanging with Hennig on 97.3 ESPN. All right, so you have faith in both the Flyers and Sixers tonight. That's what I'm getting from you, Vince.
Yeah, I do. I have faith, and it's something where, could I be depressed by the end of, these, 8 hours? Yeah, I could be, but, I mean, it is what it is. I think they have, I do think both squads have a shot. They've been proving themselves as of late, and the Sixers especially on a little bit of a grind right now. So, I mean, I do have confidence in them. The first time I'm saying this in a while, Nuggets would be happy. I'm sure, because I've been talking bad on them, okay, and I've been having to hear it from him. So now that I'm talking positive on the Sixers, I'm sure he's jumping around doing whatever. But yeah, I'm thinking positive.
All right, well, Vince, you've been doing a great job today back in the studio. You're kind of like a referee or an umpire. It's like when we don't hear about you, you're doing a great job, right? So I just want to say, No, but you did good today. Between Billy's show this morning up at Cooper River, my show today. So I wanted to just say thanks for everything you did today, man. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it, Josh. Thank you.
Josh Hennig hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea City. Don't forget, hanging with Hennig, broadcasting live, Gusto Brewing down here in North Cape May. One segment to go, and of course, still to come. We were able to do the giveaway of all the prizes, all the raffle tickets for everybody who bought brews today. And of course, we will crack open my first try of the two new brews with Zach from Gusto coming up on the other side. Hanging with Hennig, 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle, streaming live on YouTube and X in the Dr. Squatch virtual studio.
It's Sixers Celtics Game 7 tonight. Listen as Tom McGinnis calls all the Sixers playoff action.
Brown down the lane. Brown rejected by the Sixers. Here comes the run out. George behind his back to BJ, and he slams it. Timeout Boston. What a game. Are you kidding me? BJ Edgecombe slams it in.
The Sixers face the Boston Celtics Game 7 tonight. Coverage begins at 7:30 on South Jersey's home for Sixers playoff basketball. 97.3 ESPN.
Tired of cooking and planning all of your meals each and every day? You need Prevail Nutrition to simplify your life. For almost a decade, Prevail Nutrition is a local meal prep company located in South Jersey that allows customers to design their own meal plan. Or you can choose from a wide variety of chef-designed meals on their weekly changing Prevail Selects menu. You can order online for pickup or get free delivery on orders of over $50. Prevail Nutrition delivers to Atlantic and Cumberland counties along with Ocean City. Or you can pick up your meals every Monday and Friday. Learn more about how Prevail Nutrition can simplify your life. Visit their website at prevailnutrition.club. Check out Prevail Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram. Prevail Nutrition is my go-to choice for prepared meals and food. Order online, like me, at prevailnutrition.club.
For 23 years, we've helped athletes at all levels of Clemic Performance Method, from youth to pros, increase maximum velocity, acceleration, vertical leaps, and general physical preparedness. We offer youth, high school, and pro college classes. Our proven results have earned national recognition from NFL coaches, sponsors, and a feature on ESPN Radio's Sports Science segment. You can contact me directly at 609-742-6190, or as always, visit our website, clemicperformancemethod.com.
Now is the time to shop for upgrades that transform your yard during spring backyard days at the Home Depot. Turn an empty corner into a hangout with the Hampton Bay Brook Mill 4-piece patio set. Then brighten your garden with lilacs or begonias and help them thrive with Vigoro potting soil. It's the finishing touches that really bring your space together, with low prices guaranteed. Shop spring backyard days for 7 days at the Home Depot now through May 6th. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
You matter, and so does your well-being. If you're facing tough moments, struggling with anxiety, depression, thoughts of suicide, or substance use, help is here anytime you need it. Call, text, or chat 988 for free confidential support. New Jersey's 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is here 24/7 for you or someone you love, with trained counselors who listen and care without judgment. You matter. Remember New Jersey's 988. A message from the New Jersey Department of Human Services.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a matte black Kia.
Hop out of your old car and into a new matte black Kia for less at Matte Black Kia in Egg Harbor Township. 26 Matte Black Kia Sportage LX, just $139 per month. 26 Matte Black Kia K5 GT line, just $149 per month. All new 2027 Matte Black Kia Telluride, $339 per month. Drive now and pay later with 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, we'll pay you up to $3,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade in any condition. Have a job clearing $450 per week? Matte Black Kia wants to get you approved today. We sell more, so you save more. Matte Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, or matteblackkia.com.
Need a new car and have no idea? It's got to be a matte black Kia.
24-month leases, $59.99 due at signing. Call 888-506-4132 for details. Interest occurs from date of purchase on select models. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
You're hanging with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN FM.
People will come, Ray.
And on the 97.3 ESPN mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea City.
People will most definitely come.
Streaming live on YouTube, Instagram, and the X platform.
Hanging with Hennig here on 97.3 ESPN is always being brought to you, not just 2 o'clock hour of the Sports Fest, 2 o'clock hour of Hanging with Hennig, the law offices of Craig A. Altman. The insurance companies, they got a game plan. It's called delay, deny, pay as little as possible. When you get in a car accident, slip and fall at work, any serious workplace injury, you need a game plan. The Sixers got to go into a game plan like the Celtics to win. You don't want to go into an injury case without someone on your side, like the law offices of Craig A. Altman. Tough lawyers who handle tough cases. And the key is you don't pay anything unless they win. So don't guess. Don't wing it. Call 856-327-8899. Don't go with a law firm that uses all of your money to pay for fancy television commercials. Go with a law firm located in South Jersey that knows how to win. Backed by a Philadelphia law firm is the law offices of Craig A. Altman, CraigAltmanLaw.com on Delsey Drive in Violent, 856-327-8899. Craig A. Altman, proud sponsors of Philadelphia sports coverage here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, we are ending the show the way we started the show. Zach from Gusto Brewing is back with me. If I could turn the camera properly, it might always be a good idea. So, as promised, we are going to crack open the new brews live on the radio so people get an immediate reaction from me about these new drops.
All right.
So now you get to pick which one I try first.
Whoa, mama. So I'm going to go with the Doom Sauce first.
All right.
I think you should start with the Doom Sauce.
All right.
Because the stout's like dessert, man.
So tell people again about this Latvian style double India Pale Ale. Tell folks about why I cracked this.
Latveria doesn't exist. It's Dr. Doom's home world, and we did it in conjunction with Ron and Don. Don's Attic, free comic book day. Doom Sauce.
I will say we are in the multiverse saga. So technically, we are in the multiverse, are we not?
We are, but and so if people don't know the reference of Latveria, they will soon.
They will soon.
They will soon. Yeah, that's a big old 8.5% double IPA with Strata, Galaxy, and Quantum Nelson Sauvin. It is a hop salad, but it drinks really smooth.
It's a hop salad, but it's delicious. It's a delicious hop salad.
That's the goal. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. So I would describe this as it's a great balance between a brew that's got volume, but not so much volume that you can't enjoy drinking it.
Right.
Sometimes people make a brew, not you, but other people. They'll make a brew and it's okay. I'm allowed to be the bad guy. I'll make fun of other people. You be the nice guy. I'll be the bad guy. It's okay.
Hey,
but there are other breweries.
Good cop.
You be good cop. Exactly. Listen, you'll never meet a villain like this again.
Yeah. I've learned that today.
But there are some breweries, they make a brew like this, and it's just so much that you have 2 or 3 sips, and you're like, I'm done. I can't have any more, And now this is a very drinkable beer. I can totally see myself drinking this in the summer when I go get ready to go watch Spider-Man Brand New Day, or maybe grab it to have it for when Doomsday hits theaters in December. Oh, can I really wait that long to drink this? I don't know about that.
I shouldn't. You shouldn't. It's a fragile beer. But yeah, that's the idea. Sometimes those big beers can get really chewy. It's like having a meal in a 16-ounce can, but it's big.
Got to keep Gus Doom on the camera
Gus
shot.
Doom, Dr. Gus.
All right, so then let's tell the folks about Out There in a Galaxy Far, Far Away, which is such a cool can. I mean, look at that can.
Yeah, we redid our can art this year because I'm not going to hide anything. The last label I enjoyed, but it was AI slop. It was the initial AI boom, and I was like, you know what? This looks cool. It's like Darth Vader eating breakfast, but you could tell it was early AI slop. I was like, we got to change it out. We got to simplify it. This is Out There coffee with Madagascar vanilla, maple syrup, some milk sugar. Man, it just drinks like dessert. It's great. And it's one of those big it's kind of a chewy stout, but it's oddly refreshing,
right?
For its ABV, which is 9.5%, and being complete black opaque in color. It's oddly refreshing.
I love how all the information on the back is also in the Star Wars text in color. It's pretty cool too.
I'm going to drop this here. Like breaking news. If you look at the recycle symbol, it is a mug with half of Darth Vader's helmet that says Galaxy's Best Boss. It's a coffee stout. It's a coffee mug. The inside joke is that the text on the mug, it would have been like a gag gift to Darth Vader from one of his minions. That font is Star Trek font. It was a gag gift for Darth.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. But for those who don't know, Star Wars Day is technically Monday, but we're celebrating today and tomorrow at Gusto Brewing Company. And don't forget about your golf event tomorrow.
Yeah, 10 a.m. Big Little 9. You can still sign up as far as I know. Go to the website, events tab. The only Star Wars themed golf event at Big Little 9.
So
It's going to be a blast.
I'm taking another sip of this before I describe my description of it.
Go for it.
So I love the coffee element to it. Now, I am a coffee person, so it probably helps.
It does.
I like how the vanilla is subtle. It's not like, vanilla,
Right.
It's like the coffee hits you, then the vanilla kind of like blends in there. I don't really taste the syrup that much. So maybe my taste buds are noticing the vanilla more than the syrup in there.
And I think one of the neat things about beers like this is these have been sitting on ice. So that thing is ice cold. The neat thing is when you drink a pint of it, as it warms up, that second half of the beer, as it's even warmed in your hands or the ambient temperature, those subtle flavors will pop more than you got in the initial sip when it was cold. It evolves over 16 ounces, which is fun.
All right, so I got to put you on the spot.
Oh, boy.
Okay, we got 2 games tonight. So we need to know from Zach at Gusto Brewing down in North Cape May. Let's start with the Sixers, the team that you said you only watch when they get in the postseason.
Correct.
Okay. Do you think they win tonight?
I do. From what I saw the other night, with Embiid back in his second game, I believe it was, his consistency and his dominance over those 2 games, especially in the second one, and Maxi's energy, like, I don't know, man. They look like the team to beat right now. Since I already told you, I only watch the Sixers when they're in the postseason because I'm a bandwagoner on basketball. I haven't watched the other teams, but man, they play with an energy that it's hard. I've been watching every time they're in the playoffs. I've watched it. I haven't seen it with this much energy. I just haven't. Excited to watch it. They win. They win. That's my call.
All right. So game 7, Sixers win. So I'll double check, but I believe if they win tomorrow, they would play the Knicks. What day would that be? I just had that in front of me. They would play the Knicks on Monday. So quick turnaround.
Yep.
It would be Monday also on NBC. So NBC tonight. No Prime, no Peacock.
Love it. I love that.
Just regular television.
Yep.
It's always a nice deal. That's what I was talking about earlier. Is that it's like for those of us over the age of 35, tonight's a beautiful night because the Flyers are on NBC, the Sixers are on NBC. There's no firing up the apps. No, it's just regular television. Speaking of the Flyers, really quick, Flyers tonight. How you feeling about Carolina?
You explained it before, man. It's a different team. They're going to be playing a different game, but I trust Taka to prepare them, and I trust this young squad to go out there with an unmatched energy. And even if they take a little bit of adjustment in the first period, I think they come out with it because Darth Vladar, dude. I think he gets them through.
Is that going to be the brew next year? Is Darth Vladar?
Don't tempt me. I think Darth Vladar weathers the storm surge, and then the team picks up 2 and 3. They take it.
Well, Zach, I appreciate you having me down here. This has been so much fun.
Thanks, bro.
I'm looking forward to hanging out, getting some food from Slack and Riddell. And when the show is done, we will give away the prizes. Yes, we will give away the prizes when the show wraps up. Shout out to Vince back in the studio for everything he did for us today. Thanks everybody who watched on YouTube and X. Thanks to Kevin Kurz from The Athletic, Dr. Josh Land from Ivy Rehab Physical Therapy. Thanks to Chris Mannix from SI and NBC Sports. And thanks to all of you listening on 97.3 ESPN. Don't forget, Sixers tonight. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. on 97.3 ESPN. Flyers on our sister station, Rock 104.1 at 8 p.m. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Playoff action.
They score! Cam York from the point of the Flyers winning in overtime, and they're headed to the second round.
It's Flyers Hurricane Game 1. Tonight, coverage begins at 8 p.m. It's Philadelphia Flyers hockey on South